If you've ever not been able to stay awake for an overtime for a playoff game, go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button, folks, and welcome back to another episode of Benzinga's Pre-Market Playbook. Is the last episode of the week until Thursday next week, but it is a big one. NVIDIA earnings are tonight. We'll see how the market does. We actually do have some green arrows here ahead of today's open, so that's good. But we'll make the most of everything here today. It's great to see a whole bunch of returning faces. Happy hump day out there to everybody. Benzinga's Pre-Market Playbook, the Wednesday edition for May 20th, 2026, begins right now. Good morning and welcome back, everybody. I hope that you had a wonderful Tuesday. I know Brian and every other Knicks fan out there had a great Tuesday night. We're back here for another market day. We're going to make sense of the regular trading day ahead of the big event, which happens after hours here today. That's going to be NVIDIA's earnings. And I think that a lot of folks kind of think that NVIDIA is going to beat. But how does it trade? That's the big question. And what do we do with it after it? An even bigger question, and we're going to see how that all shakes out here. As a reminder, due to summer vacations here, the show will not run tomorrow and Friday, and then again on Monday. Obviously, that's Memorial Day. The entire market is closed. One of the other reasons why we picked this weekend is because there's a market holiday baked in there. But we also will be off Tuesday and Wednesday, and we will return Thursday, May 28th, a week from tomorrow. We will be playing some replay content in there, I think including some of our really good educational webinars that we've played before. So at least there will be some type of content there for you. Producer, if you have any idea of what the content schedule might be over this time, maybe let the chat know. We can reiterate that a couple of times here today. We're not going anywhere. We're just taking a break, and I really hope to see all of you folks back on Thursday, May 28th. Now, let's get to today's action here. Solitary Soldier is first. Good morning. Welcome back. I hope that you had a wonderful Tuesday and hope that you're rearing to go here today. Yes, that girl. Good morning. Welcome back. Derek, good morning. Welcome back. Zach McCracken, good morning. Welcome back. I nibbled on some beaten downs yesterday, mostly on small and mid-cap positions I already own. Now it's Zen Patience. You know, I'm glad that you said that. I think one of the reasons that we're seeing some of these small caps get punished, I know Ondas has been the focus here, but there are others as well. I think one of the reasons we're seeing that is because we're starting to think about maybe a possible rate hike bias, and that would disproportionately affect some of those small cap stocks. And I think that you saw the market kind of price some of that in yesterday. Now, could that all change? Yes, of course. And maybe we get some other news that kind of changes that, Zach, but that makes a lot of sense for a patient trader anyway. Peter, good morning. Welcome back. Crispy Biscuit, good morning. Welcome back. Francis, good morning. Welcome back. JD, good morning. JD said we had 7 likes before we even went on. That's great. I appreciate it. Please smash up the like. It's a free and easy way to support us. JD, I appreciate you. Robert, good morning. Welcome back. Producer, good morning. Thanks for all of your help. Brian, good morning. Thank you for everything. And again, I'm glad you're happy. You got to be smiling from ear to ear here today. AC, good morning. Welcome back. Forsman, oh, there's a show today? Yes, there is. Today is the last show until Thursday, May 28th. I'll probably have to say that a few times here today. But yes, and again, we're just taking a break. We're not going anywhere. We're just gonna breathe, take a break, probably play some golf, but we'll be back. Carlos, welcome back. Happy hump day to you as well. Daniel, good morning. Welcome back. Let's get dialed in. Indeed. Okay, producer's already talked. That's great. Thank you, producer. Linda, good morning. Welcome back. Yes, Brian, I know, hard to believe, but vacation it is. Free Diddy tomorrow. Good morning. Welcome back. Buffalo by Bicycle. Good morning. Welcome back. Sina, good morning. And welcome. It's good to see you again. Bernhard, welcome back. Kenneth, welcome back. Unpopular Truth, welcome back. Jeff, good morning. Welcome back. Matthew, good morning. Welcome back. Neville, good morning. Maverick and Acorns, good morning. Janie, good to see you. Good morning. Big of Bees, it's good to see you as always, brother. Good morning and welcome back. Ryan, good morning. Welcome back. Great name. Just passing through. Good morning. Welcome back. JJ, hi, good morning. Good morning to you. Welcome back. Thank you. We will have some good time away here. No question about it. Jeff, good morning. Welcome back. Naperville loves you, Mark. Okay. I don't know what that means, but sounds like it came from the heart. So sweet. Cam, good morning. Welcome back. Brian, what do we think will happen? Beat and sell off, beat and moon, miss and die. I can scratch the last one. I don't think it's going to miss, and I don't think it's going to die. So we could take that one off the list, at least for me. I think it's going to beat, and I think it's either going to be flat or close lower the next day. In other words, we could be up 2% after the report, but tomorrow, when everything gets digested, and if there's a sell the news event attached to it, could see us maybe going green to red. We'll see, though. Cameron, good morning. Welcome back. Lance, good morning. Welcome back. Ed, good morning. Welcome back. I've gone pro. Good morning, party. Let's go, Ed. Let's go. Let's go. I absolutely love to hear it. Let me know if there's anything I can help you with when it comes to pro. James Bond. James Bond. Good morning. Welcome back. Let's see. Oops, Ryan. Oh, guy, I got it, Jeff. Naperville loves it. Hey, I like Naperville. I like Naperville. I haven't been out there in a long time, but I've had good times out there. So, all right, Craig, good morning. Welcome back. It's good to see you again. Matthew letting us know May 28th is also the Ondas shareholder meeting. We'll see if anything comes from that. Lion, good morning. Welcome back. Tello has some news. How's Tello doing? It's just up a little bit. Okay, that's not a big deal. All right, folks. Also, I just wanted to mention before we go ahead and get started with the next segment here, I forgot to mention this at the outset, but that's okay because there's more people here now. I have a loaded show here for you today. So we're going to have to move pretty quickly. We're going to have Tim Melvin, but we have a special guest that you were not expecting here today as well, too. So should be a good day. Now, let's go ahead and get it started with our stock market today. Futures are green across the board on Wednesday here ahead of the market open and, of course, ahead of NVIDIA's earnings in the after hours. S&P futures up 0.38%, Dow futures up 0.3%, and the NASDAQ leading the way higher plus 0.68%. Now let's take a look at some cues from last session and where we sit here today. Materials, communication services, and consumer discretionary sectors recorded the biggest losses on Tuesday, pulling most S&P 500 sectors into negative territory, though healthcare and energy stocks bucked the trend to close higher. U.S. stock futures rose on Wednesday following 2 consecutive days of lower closes on the S&P 500 and the NASDAQ 100 indices on Tuesday. Investors are awaiting NVIDIA's first quarter results. That's ticker NVDA. They're scheduled to be released after the closing bell here today. Analysts are expecting NVIDIA to report second quarter earnings of $1.76 per share on revenue of $79.04 billion. Additionally, the Federal Reserve will be releasing the minutes of the Fed meeting later this afternoon. Meanwhile, the 10-year Treasury bond yielded 4.65%, and the 2-year bond was at 4.1%. The CME Group's Fed Watch Tool projections show the market's pricing a 96.7% likelihood of the Federal Reserve leaving the current interest rates unchanged during the June meeting. Now, we've got several stocks in focus here for you today, and the first one was a report from yesterday. This is going to be Toll Brothers. As a home builder here, the ticker is TOL, and it rose 2.3% in the pre-market on Wednesday after reporting upbeat earnings for the first quarter. The company posted quarterly earnings of $2.72 per share, which beat the analyst consensus estimate of $2.60 per share. The next stock on our list is going to be Stellantis. Stellantis is ticker STLA, and it was up 0.82% as it signed an MOU with Dongfeng Group to establish a Europe-based joint venture for sales, distribution, manufacturing, purchasing, and engineering of Dongfeng's new energy vehicles. The next stock on our list is going to be Roblox. The ticker is RBLX, and it actually advanced this morning 3.69% as it disclosed a $3 billion share repurchase program. The next stock on our list is going to be AMC Entertainment Holdings, and the ticker is AMC. It gained 5.8% after the CEO, Adam Aron, bought 250,000 shares of the company's stock. The last stock on our list is going to be Cava, ticker CAVA, the Mediterranean fast casual restaurant. It jumped 6.63% after it posted first quarter revenue of $438.27 billion. That beat the consensus of $411.25 billion, and adjusted earnings of 20 cents per share beat the analyst estimates of 17 cents per share. All right, let's take a look at the SPY chart here and see where we're at. So we've pulled back a little bit here. We've talked a lot about the key areas, and we've basically ended up holding 733. So I know we kind of talked about 735. There were some intraday levels given out by a couple of the chat members yesterday. G-Man comes to mind, really good calls on where the next levels on the SPY were. But really what ended up happening here, the low of yesterday has actually formed a pretty good looking candle. The low of yesterday was 733.39. That was the spot that we defended. So 733 should be a support level here today, albeit maybe not that sticky of a support level. We still have our eyes set on the 728 to 725 range, and we also have our 20-day creeping up yet again here to catch or give us some support at about 727 if we continue to move lower. Now, on the upside, one of the first things that we'd like to take out is going to be the high from yesterday. That value is at 741.42. So just kind of looking at whether the market's at right now, we could maybe trade sideways or maybe even a little bit higher and still stay under that number. So I don't want to get too excited about a breakout here until we see it. And nothing has changed. The volume has still been very low when it comes to SPY trading volume here. So those are the levels. 727, that's going to be your 20. That's right smack dab in the middle of the 725 to 728 range. We also talked about 733 as being a support level, maybe 735 now that we've crossed back above it, but I don't feel all that great about that particular level. All right, let's take a look at some insights from analysts here, get you set for your trading day. Professor Jeremy Siegel remains, quote, constructive on U.S. economy and equities over the longer run, end quote, but warns that the stock market faces near-term pressures. Following the U.S.-China summit, Siegel notes that optimism previously supporting equities has evaporated. Consequently, he expects flat to down period in equities, particularly impacting the NASDAQ and momentum segments where speculation was the highest. Now, that's important because NVIDIA absolutely fits into that. So again, there's going to be two things here. There's going to be the number that they put out for the previous quarter, as well as the guidance for the quarters ahead. But there's also going to be the reaction to that. And if the confidence has, quote, evaporated, like Siegel is saying here, then perhaps even with a good number, NVIDIA might meet a sell-off tomorrow. We'll see. Siegel, specifically highlights semiconductors and tech supply chains as vulnerable due to renewed friction over Taiwan. Furthermore, with the 10-year Treasury breaking above 4.5%, Siegel anticipates that rising oil and climbing yields will continue to squeeze the market. Now, despite these headwinds, Siegel emphasizes that, quote, the engine of the U.S. economy is still running, end quote. This is driven by solid growth and a resilient labor market. The domestic economy shows, quote, no meaningful deterioration, end quote. This underlying strength is why Siegel clarifies and says, I do not see this as the beginning of a bear market, and I am not calling for a major correction, end quote. Instead, he expects a temporary period of friction until oil stabilizes, bond yields level off, and the Federal Reserve clarifies its interest rate path. Now, the keen observer might realize that several of those things are connected, right? So the Federal Reserve might have a clearer path on interest rates if the conflict in the Middle East was resolved. So we'll see how all these dominoes fall. Not everybody ready to hit the panic button yet. That's good to see. All right. Next story here, you guessed it, data centers and AI. Been the huge theme here. This one caught my eye a bit, though. Elon Musk says AI data centers in space are much easier than people think, and as a result, targets 10,000 launches a year. 10,000 launches a year. That's insane. I remember, just when I first heard data centers in space, my first thought was, okay, dude reads too many sci-fi books. Like, this isn't actually going to happen. Here we are just a handful of years later. It looks like this story is picking up steam. SpaceX CEO Elon Musk says that satellite-based artificial intelligence computing is simpler than what the industry thinks as talks of data centers in space gather steam. In an interview with Forbes on Tuesday, Musk said that data centers in space were much easier than people might think, and added that SpaceX had already over 10,000 satellites in orbit. Quote, in the future with Starship, we'll be launching over 10,000 per year, Musk said. Wild. And he was touting advanced capabilities compared to the current iterations of satellites. Quote, the way to access power that's far beyond anything on Earth is space, end quote. He added that the company's calculations suggested 1 terawatt of AI compute satellites annually being launched from Earth. Quote, the average power usage in the United States is 0.5 terawatt, end quote. And he outlined that SpaceX could launch twice the amount of electricity consumption in the U.S. per year. Musk then reaffirmed plans to build a base on the surface of the moon, as well as a mass driver to facilitate deep space exploration. I've been a sci-fi nerd my whole life. I love science fiction, and I love when it appears that it is blending with real life. It's makes me happy. Talks of Musk's orbital data center goals recently got a boost as Alphabet, ticker GOOG and GOOGL, reportedly held talks with SpaceX over collaborating on developing technology to facilitate said data centers in space. The news comes as SpaceX has reportedly picked Goldman Sachs Group, ticker GS, to lead its upcoming IPO in June this year, with investment bank Morgan Stanley, ticker MS, also touted to play a leading role in the IPO, the biggest IPO of the year, the most waited for one. SpaceX will be targeting a valuation of $1.75 trillion in the IPO, aiming to raise over $75 billion through its listing. SpaceX is also reportedly targeting a listing on the NASDAQ. So data centers in space, I know it seems pie in the sky, it seems crazy. Elon thinks that, hey, it's actually not as hard as most people think. And the amount of data center compute that we can put up there seems astronomical. Again, we'll see how it shakes out. I got to say, I think that SpaceX and Tesla are going to be much higher if this ends up working out. I don't really think that's a bold call or anything, but that's kind of what my gut says. Okay, an earnings report that took place last night on a stock that we've been talking about recently, both in Happy Hour and on the morning program. This is for company Keysight, and the ticker is Keys. And so I just want to break down or give you an earnings snapshot here, since this is a thematic stock that we have talked about a few times. Keysight Technology, ticker KEYS, traded higher in pre-market on action on Wednesday after the Electric Test and Measurement Company reported second quarter results that topped Wall Street's expectations and raised its full-year outlook. The company reported second quarter earnings of $2.87 per share, beating the analyst consensus estimate of $2.32 per share. Revenue rose 31% year over year to $1.72 billion. That was slightly ahead of analyst estimates at $1.71 billion. Orders climbed 56% year over year to more than $2 billion, supported by strong growth in the company's big business communications solutions segment. Keysight generated record free cash flow of $472 million during the quarter. The company ended the period with more than $2.4 billion in cash and cash equivalents. Management said momentum in its AI-related businesses have already surpassed full year 2025 levels, driven by growing demand for data center scaling, optical interconnects, and AI system validation tools. Keysight continued to benefit from strong demand in wireline communications, supported by an increasing adoption of 800G and 1.6T architectures, along with early-stage development work tied to 3.2T technologies. The wireless business also posted solid demand, aided by growth in the non-terrestrial networks, 6G research initiatives, and satellite connectivity programs. In aerospace, defense, and government markets, growth was driven by a radar system, spectrum management solutions, and modernization programs, including the U.S. Air Force contracts for advanced flight line testing systems. The Electronic Industrial Solutions Group delivered a record quarter for both orders and revenue, supported by demand across semiconductor, automotive, energy, and broader electronics markets. Semiconductor-related demand remains strong, fueled by AI workloads, advanced node chip development, silicon photonics, and wafer-level testing applications. Automotive and energy orders increased for a third consecutive quarter, driven by software-defined vehicles, EV charging infrastructure, in-vehicle connectivity, cybersecurity, and over-the-air validation systems. Keysight expects third quarter earnings in a range of $2.43 to $2.49 per share. That's above the analyst estimate of $2.14 per share. The company forecasts third quarter revenue between $1.73 billion and $1.75 billion. That's compared to the analyst expectations of $1.64 billion. For fiscal 2026, Keysight raised its outlook and now expects revenue growth in the high 20% range, citing strong demand visibility and robust customer pipeline. So we talked about Keys. That's been an interesting one. Keys may be on my IV crusher list this morning. Big B's, let me know what direction you trade that or what you're looking for there. Looked like a pretty decent report on the surface there. Okay, where are we doing on time? We're good on time here. 9 minutes until our first guest. This next story here, this is a follow-up on one that we've kind of been covering. I don't necessarily think the other shoe has dropped here yet. I think this is still kind of ongoing. Definitely something that we want to monitor, though. This has to do with Samsung and the workers' strike that's going on. Like I said, we've been reporting on this a little bit, but I want to keep you updated on this. Nearly 48,000 employees of Samsung Electronics, ticker SSNLF on the OTC, are preparing strike following unsuccessful payment discussions. The workers are ready to walk off the job after bonus payment negotiations ended without an agreement. And that was reported by the Yonhap News today. The strike could significantly disrupt the global chip supply and impact South Korea's economy. Remember, Tim Melvin loves the Korean stocks. Despite the impending strike, hopes for a resolution were revived when talks resumed late Wednesday under mediation of Labor Minister Kim Yong-hoon. Union leader Choi Sung-ho had earlier stated that while the union had accepted a final proposal from the National Labor Relations Commission, the strike would go ahead due to unresolved issues with management. The two sides agreed to remove bonus caps tied to 50% of annual salary, but remained split on bonus distribution for loss-making units, formalizing the agreement. That was as per the report. On Friday, the Samsung labor union indicated that it would push ahead with an 18-day strike plan starting May 21st, potentially disrupting production at the world's largest memory chip maker. The union had expressed its willingness to engage in new discussions post-June 7, but remained firm on its strike plan. Samsung, in a statement, let's scroll down here. In a statement published by South Korean media outlet Money Today, stated that the union's unacceptable demands, including the size of the bonus for loss-making units, were the reason the agreement could not be reached. The chipmaker added that it would, quote, will not give up on dialogue until the last moment, end quote, and went on to say, quote, there must be no strikes under any circumstance, end quote. South Korean President Lee Jae-myung, known for his union-friendly stance, also criticized oh, excuse me, I'm sorry about that. Lost my place too. Also criticized a certain union for crossing the line by demanding a share of the company's operating profit before paying income tax. Industry officials told Yonhap that a full-scale strike could cost South Korea's economy up to 100 trillion won, or 66.98 billion USD. Jing Ji-yu, an equity analyst at Morningstar, warned Samsung could lose ground to rivals due to weaker employee compensation, noting that SK Hynix offers more generous profit sharing. An estimated 18-day strike could reduce Samsung's 2026 operating profit by about 5%. And that was reported by Business Insider on Tuesday. So we'll see how this all goes. Obviously, chips, memory, that is in the discussion all day, pretty much every day. I feel like this strike would not be good. Uh-oh is right, Big B's. Uh-oh is right. That would not be good. We'll see how that affects some of the South Korean stocks and ETFs as well. All right, couple of minutes here. I'm just going to keep rolling. The next one here, this one's on CrowdStrike. And actually, let me very quickly go back to Benzinga Pro here. Let's just take a look at CrowdStrike's chart before we dive into the actual news here. First of all, the inverse head and shoulders that we identified on the chart, yeah, that played out. That played out nicely. Really kind of broke the neckline here, 445. This thing went on a huge run, actually took out the very long-term trend line. This goes all the way back to 2024. Maybe it's not very long, but the nice upside trend line there. This thing has done a really good job staying in the channel that we have outlined. We recently punched through that. CrowdStrike's been absolutely killing it recently. The news here today, they're expanding in Germany and they're boosting their Falcon platform adoption. CrowdStrike Holdings, ticker CRWD, shares are trading lower during Wednesday's pre-market session as traders weigh fresh partnership news. The company signed a deal with Germany's SVA system Veriteb Alexander GmbH to deliver the AI-native CrowdStrike Falcon platform to the public sector, enterprise, and mid-market customers all across Germany. As per the agreement, SVA will standardize on CrowdStrike's platform to help organizations consolidate cybersecurity capabilities, reduce complexity, and scale protection more efficiently as demand for cloud and AI transformation accelerates. The companies noted that increasingly sophisticated adversaries are leveraging AI and modern cloud complexity to move faster across fragmented security environments. And this highlighted the need for unified protection. The Falcon platform integrates endpoint, identity, cloud, next-generation SIEM, and data protection capabilities with AI-driven automation, positioning it as a centralized security operating system for the AI era. Through this partnership, SVA will deploy the full Falcon suite as a core element of its cybersecurity offering, helping customers reduce tool sprawl, lower costs, and improve breach prevention outcomes. The company also planned joint growth efforts through Amazon Web Services Marketplace, Stackit, and Google Cloud Marketplace to simplify procurement and speed Falcon adoption across Germany. Even with the pre-market dip, CrowdStrike is still in a stretched uptrend, as we just showed you. It's trading 20.6% above its 20-day simple moving average, which is at 506.58, and 35.8% above its 50-day moving average at 449.99. This often invites consolidation risk if buyers pause. The nearest chart-defined line in the sand from the provided levels is support at 517. A nearby pivot area that also sits close to the 20 EMA at 522.06, making it a key zone bulls typically want to defend on pullbacks. Now, looking at some more stuff here or some more stats for CrowdStrike here, we did talk about that 517 key support. We also have, as far as the analyst consensus on this, Truist went to a buy and raised their target to 650. They did that on May 19th. In fact, all of these were from May 19th. TD Cowen, they're at a buy. They raised their target to 625. And Barclays is overweight. They raised their target to 650. Again, that's versus a 611 price that we see here in the pre-market. So I'd be curious. I know CrowdStrike is a kind of a popular one out there, especially for cybersecurity. I would be very interested in anyone's trade plan if you do, in fact, like CrowdStrike at all. All right, folks, let's go back to Pro here real quick. Go ahead. We are all set to go. As mentioned, we are going to have Tim Melvin on. There's no way we would have a Wednesday without Tim unless he had a prior obligation, of course. But we also have a special guest here for you today. And I'm really excited about this because a number of folks that have been joining us, especially when they release news, I like to bring you people directly at the company instead of just giving my opinion every day. And that is exactly what we are going to do here today. So, special guest time. I'm happy to have Dragonfly CEO Cameron Chell joining us again today. Let's go ahead and bring him on. Cameron, good morning. How you doing today?
Morning. Great. Thanks. Thanks for having me. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem. Look, I love having you on. I love giving updates, and I love having the CEO talk directly about what's going on. So thanks for joining us. Welcome to the show here today. Let's just go ahead and get started with it here. I see that you reported some news here today. This is for Dragonfly. Of course, the ticker is DPRO on the NASDAQ. It's amazing news this morning, Cameron. Can you tell us more about it?
Yeah, so we've been awarded a contract to do an initial build out to build an ultra mobile counter drone system that will do targeting and defeat, and it needs to be man packable. So we have a number of technologies that we've demonstrated to Army DevCon, who's awarded us this initial contract, that can actually allow a soldier to man pack a counter drone system to go, protect a forwarded operating base or an overnight encampment or in a trench line that they're in, and be protecting it in a way where you can protect against swarms or potentially even Shia 136 and 139s. So there's a lot of counter drone business happening out there. They tend to be very big systems, rely on heavy radar, large investment, not mobile, and they're great. And there's obviously a really important need for those, in particular around infrastructure. But when you get out into tactical operations or you get your forward operating bases, the advent of this thing called no man's land is basically nobody goes in where a drone can show up, because there's no effective protection for boots on the ground. And so that's what we aim to look to do. It's also small enough to be able to fit on tanks or light armored vehicles and things like that. So it's a huge validation for Dragonfly. It's in partnership with F4I Defense, who's a very well-established prime and subprime, and then having us selected and implement the technology and then be able to do the training around it is it's something that, it really couldn't be a better client to have. And it really highlights the technology and the adaptability that we've got in the entire drone space.
Yeah, that's absolutely fantastic. I was going to ask you why it's important, but you actually hit on a couple of things there. Mobile and makes the warfighter more agile. Obviously, that's going to help keep these folks alive and all of that. Validation of your technology. Is there anything else in there I'm missing as to why this is so important for you folks?
Well, I think what a lot of folks, a lot of customers that are coming to us that are primarily military customers are recognizing that, the best drone defeat company is a company that knows how to make drones and is busy defeating drone defeat companies. Also, we've got 27 years of experience. We're boots on the ground. We've been in Ukraine since 22. We know the operational environment. We've been building systems for AeroVironment for years and years. That for a long time they were our best client, and so we were literally doing counter drone systems 15 years ago, and FPVs 17 years ago. So a lot of this isn't new technology. It's just now actually being applied in an operational environment, and the costs are down where they just become incredibly effective. So I think that operational experience and the ability to actually, we're in a spot now where we can scale. We built out plants for the last couple of years. I think it's starting to bear fruit for us. So, we appreciate, we got to continue to, make the grade every single day. I mean, we're in service to the warfighter, so there's no room for error. But it's nice to see us winning these really important strategic contracts.
Yeah, you have to keep executing, but this is a really good sign of the success along the way there. I'm totally with you on that. Now, I also noticed that you had news yesterday, right? So you announced that Dragonfly Blitz advanced optical payload product line to address the growing demand for best-in-class NDAA compliant integrated gimbal systems. A lot of jargon in there. Can you explain that to us?
Yeah.
And why that's important?
Yeah. So right now there's a serious supply constraint in the drone industry around optical payloads. So, you might be able to deliver an airframe and your radios, and your radios are a bit of a challenge too. But, and then when it comes to an actual optical sensor, you got very few choices in the market that are NDAA compliant. And so you might be waiting 25 weeks for that order to come in. Well, and of course the customer is looking at the drone company going, "What's wrong with you?" And you're like, "It's actually not us. It's this optical payload that we can't they just can't produce them fast enough. So we've done a deal with a company called Blitz. Our ultimate game is to make that an acquisition. We're crawl, walk, run, and so we've got North American and South American distribution, customer integration, tier 1, tier 2 support. Within about 4 months, we'll do all assembly within our plants for this particular market, and then hopefully it progresses beyond there. But these are military grade optical systems that the typical competitor out there will be charging about $45,000 for a system that we're able to charge about $15,000 for, and then we go all the way up to $250,000 optical camera systems. And most of these systems that the military grade optics are made for are generally Category 3 drones. However, we see the concepts of operations that the Department of War is pushing is using sophisticated optics on Category 1 and Category 2. And there's not really anybody that can supply those optics into it. So we're making a very big bet down this path. We've been loading up our inventory, managing our supply chain for quite some time in order to meet the demand that's out there. And so, your optical lens can be as much as your drone entirely. So the fact that we're vertically integrating this into our product line, we're really excited about, and it just makes a whole bunch of sense. And we need to do it just to ensure that we can get the rest of our product into our customers' hands.
Yeah, that's absolutely fantastic. That sounds great. Look, is there anything, this has been a lot already, but is there anything else that you would like to share with investors here today?
We just finished off a record quarter. Consensus out there right now is $18 million this year. I'm super comfortable we're going to hit that. There's a couple outlier contracts that we're very far down the path on, and I just think the main thing for me is actually just to see the customer confidence growing and the amount of referrals that are coming in because of the work that we've done with, say one airborne unit. The next airborne unit is just going, it's just, you got to use these guys. I've already solved the problem. So I'm sure we're not the only drone company experiencing that right now, but the fact that we are in that spot, we got a great balance sheet, and we've got customers growing, this thing's going to work. And I believe we're going to go well north of $1 billion this year.
Okay, that is really exciting to hear. Look, one of the things that separates our show is our community gets involved in it. So if you can answer, I've got a couple of really quick questions here directly from the community. Yeah, okay. I appreciate that. Who do you sell your drones to, like Ukraine and maybe other countries? And then the second part of that is, do the new drones use AI to complete their mission?
Yeah, so we primarily sell our drones to Department of War, DND, which is in Canada, allied nations, and such. Now we do have equipment going into Ukraine, but it's generally paid for by the allied nations that it's going in there. We've been boots on the ground in Ukraine since 22, and so we have pervasive people there constantly, in contested environments, doing our design work, understanding, what's next, because things iterate there every 10 days. And that's been a big part of, I think, credibility that we have back in our North American and beyond tier 1, tier 2 country markets, because they know we have that experience. And in fact, we'll talk very loudly about that next week with something that we're pretty excited about. In terms of the AI question, it really depends on the customer. So to us right now, and it won't be this way forever, but to us right now, AI is a payload. So there are lots of really incredible AI companies out there that are in a spot right now where it's not like ChatGPT, where you've got all this massive data coming in, and then you can service a bunch of broad markets. When you're dealing with a mission set that you're going to use quote unquote AI to fly with only weather data through a particular area, you have to have years of weather data from that particular area. Right. Yeah. And that's very specialized type of data. So what we see in the drone space is you see a multitude of AI companies that are solving very specific problems because there aren't huge data sets for that very specific problem. But it's a critical problem to solve. And if they do, they get contracts. So we may have a special ops unit come to us and say, this is what we're running, this is what we need, this is the profile. We know we're going to need a Commander 3XL because it's got this battery capacity, and this is the AI we want to run. And then they're like, we need you to integrate that into the Commander 3XL. And That's what we do best, right? So
Awesome.
right now we really treat AI like a payload. There will be a time where we'll have to vertically integrate that, but it's not now. We'd be blowing our brains out making a bunch of guesses around it at this time. But whether that's a particular swarming technology, whether that's a particular targeting technology, whether it's a particular search and rescue technology, there's all these specialties out there, and so we're really working hard to be the platform that they all want to integrate with, as opposed to say most of our competitors out there, and I'm not suggesting they're wrong, it's just different, where they have closed systems. Mm-hmm. And at some point that'll be super valuable. But the challenge right now is that means you have to win everything. So you might have a great drone, but you might not have the right AI or the right optical sensor, but it doesn't matter, it's closed in. And so with our modular systems, AI, optical sensors, radios, they are all interchangeable. And a lot of people ask us on our larger drones. Our smaller drones are injection molded and 3D printed, but our larger drones aren't. They're constructed in a way, because when you're in the field and something breaks, you can't fix something that's injected, molded, and embedded into it. You have to take that arm off and put it on. You have to be able to take the battery pack out. You have to be able to reassemble all those things. And so it's those things that after 27 years and a lot of con ops that you've been involved with, you realize that those are the most important things that are out there. And I think that's why we're getting the special op orders right now.
Okay. This has been awesome. Cameron, I really appreciate it. Thanks for taking some time today. Folks, the company is Dragonfly. The ticker is DPRO on the NASDAQ. Cameron, thanks for joining us this morning. I look forward to more updates from you in the future. I love following the story. Okay.
That's right. You're gracious. Thanks.
All right. That is Cameron Chell, folks, CEO of Dragonfly. Great update on some fresh news here today. Looks like Dragonfly trading higher here in the pre-market on that. We thank Cameron for joining us. We'll continue to bring you updates on all of those stories. Neville says, I like this guy. Yeah, me too. Me too. I like anyone that's trying to help our warfighters as well. Now, I told you we had a busy day, so we're going to go from one guest to another. It is Tim Melvin time. Let's give a warm welcome to Tim here this morning. Tim, good morning. Happy Wednesday. How are you doing here today?
I am doing fantastic. Very impressive guests that preceded me, by the way. I mean, drones are the future of everything, but especially war. So.
Yeah, no question about that. Tim, I think we're in the very early innings of that. Like, I know it's not a bank stock, but it's exciting nonetheless.
No, it is. And here's the thing, and I'll just touch on this and then move on, because that guy knows way more than I do. But we're way behind in drones, and we have been forever. Okay, we were late to adopt the technology, and please don't say you're pointing fingers at administration, because I'm not. These decisions were made several administrations ago. Okay, by the way, when I criticize the White House, just don't give it a name, because the next guy, I don't care what party he's in, I'm gonna criticize him too. So,
and I can confirm, as long as I've known Tim, that's been the case. By the way,
yeah, so, I'm just not a fan of government. I'm a libertarian. I'm not a fan of government. The best government is that governs least, to quote Mr. Whitman. But we're way behind in drones, and a lot of our supply chain is offshore. That's all got to come onshore. Yeah, and guys like him are going to be a huge part of that. So that's pretty exciting.
Yeah.
So anyway,
and I also, just really quickly, I want to thank you for being flexible. I know we have this time reserved for you. Thank you for allowing me to do that. I love being able to bring value to the audience, and it's things like that we can do. So really appreciate that. Yes. Now,
by the way, whoever said I'm he made my good friend. I'm anti-war, rapidly anti-war, as anybody should be. But I'm anti a lot of things that have been happening since the dawn of time and are going to continue to happen. They don't care if I like it. They never ask. So anyway, what we're seeing in the world, let's start with the basics, okay? Because we get all this news and this and that and the other, and we get lost in the fact that the trend is up. All right? So the fact that I don't like some of the things going on in the Fed, or you don't like things going on at the Fed, or we think there should be a different president, or this president should get 12 terms, or whatever it is we think about what's going on in the world. We like AI, we hate AI. Doesn't matter. The trend is up, right? And that needs to be a central part of kind of more people's conversation, right? Because it will keep you out of so much trouble, right? You can go broke shorting overpriced stocks.
Oh yeah.
shorting overpriced stocks when the trend is down will make you a lot of money. We're not there. Okay. So the big concern that I see out there is, if you're paying attention, bonds have been getting smoked. And I mean, absolutely smoked. Now, part of that's energy, but here's why Kevin Warsh has the worst job in the world, right? And I was telling you yesterday, I've always said this about the Fed chair. I think Janet Yellen was getting paid about $180,000. Warsh might be getting $220,000. Relatively speaking, it's the worst job in Washington, D.C. for the money, right?
I don't envy his job at all. I wouldn't want it.
No, he's coming in. He's got a president that really wants rates lowered, right? And he's wrong about that, but he wants it firmly. Warsh is coming into an environment where you simply cannot lower rates. And it's not just energy. There's two other things that we have to consider here. One, when we strip all this out, the economy's in pretty good shape. If it wasn't for the war and for the trade policies, we'd be having legitimate conversations about whether or not we were going to hit 5% GDP.
Actually, Tim, I believe we did talk about that a while back. Some folks laughed at us. Others curled an eyebrow.
Yeah, I mean, it was possible. When you put in reshoring, you put in productivity improvements from AI, you put in the fact that AI is there. We can't afford to drop the ball on this one, okay? We have to build the data centers. We have to build the electrical infrastructure. We have to build the generation capacity, or we have to learn to speak Chinese. It's our choice, right? So all of these things, by the way, create jobs. But we have a housing crisis. It's an affordability issue. It has nothing to do with mortgage rates. It's got everything to do with supply. So we got to build a few million new homes at starter points in the curve, right? That also creates jobs. So you got some massive tailwinds out there. You simply cannot lower rates. So Warsh promised to lower rates, right? You know that he told the president he would, because the president said he would not nominate anybody that did not make that promise. Now, first problem, the economy's growing and you've got the energy thing going on, okay? However, Warsh faces a problem very familiar to anybody in the great city of Chicago who ever ran against one of the dailies. He ain't got the votes, right? He's 8-4 against his policies, right? And 7 of those 8 are pretty rapidly against his policy. We actually had 3 dissents last time, not because they disagreed with the decision, but they wanted to take out a sentence in the report that said our next path will probably be towards lowering rates. They want to take that out. Now, the only thing dumber than lowering rates here would be raising them, but that's what I say. Warsh is in an impossible position, right? Because the least politically possible thing to do, it's like, telling a day trader that you're going to get rich as hell if you'll just sit still for 10 years. It ain't happening.
That's actually pretty good.
So it's the same thing with the Fed chair, right? If you come up and you just every quarter, every month, nothing, the market hates it, right? And you start getting accused of being ineffective and this, that, and the other. Said Kevin Warsh, good luck, man. You're going to need it. So we'll see how that plays out. That's the biggest concern. Bond market, yields are higher. Eventually that filters into everything. But, and I'm going to eat a little bit of 13's time. He's just going to have to live with it. We had 13 F filings last week.
Yes, we did.
And as usual, we all got the hidden ball trick played on us because we were all looking at the crap that didn't matter, right? What did Warren Buffett buy? Why on earth would you care? What did Kathy Woods buy? Do you really think Kathy's portfolio today looks anything like it did at the end of March? Because I don't think so, right? She has a really high turnover rate. So we're looking at all the famous guys, Bill Ackman, Elliott, Druckenmiller, there's the same guys all the time, Einhorn. They don't matter all that much, right? Because they're gazillionaires. Right? They have billions of dollars. Their portfolios are impacted by decisions that you and I don't face. or if you do face them and you have the gazillionaire problem, my question, what the hell you're doing on this show? I'd be taking a nap from somewhere else but here. Okay.
You mean you wouldn't be in Florida building a new rocket company?
No,
Okay,
no,
just
no.
making sure.
You know what I'd probably be doing is I'd be starting a chain of private schools with the folks from Alpha Schools. That's kind of my pet thing is education, because
Awesome.
if the unions and politicians would get the hell out of the way, it's fixable. And
I
by the
agree
way,
with you there.
Google Alpha School, folks, when you get a chance, and look at what they're doing. If we could take that to private school to public school, it's a major game changer. I don't care what Druckenmiller bought. Really don't care. What I do care about, I care what the private equity guys did. Why? Well, first off, they're better than everybody else. Their long-term rates of return with cash, public market securities, are higher than just about everybody else's, particularly Kohlberg, Kravis, and Roberts. They shoot the lights out. Right behind them is Apollo. These guys see more than anybody else sees. They don't have a static view. They own businesses all over the world, right? Better than that, they own leverage businesses all over the world, and nothing will concentrate your mind like being leveraged, right? Then they also lend money all over the world. They borrow money all over the world, and they own real estate and infrastructure, again, all over the world. So the private equity guys see more than they do. So when you see something going on, it pays to pay attention. So when we go to Apollo, Apollo has a really serious deep value bent that I don't think most people recognize. These guys all came out of Drexel Burnham Lambert. They were investment bankers originally, so they're really good on the credit side. Mm-hmm. But at their heart, they have a serious deep value, almost Ben Graham bent. So when we look at what they're buying, we need to pay a little bit of attention. They're going heavy into building supplies and real estate. When I look at their top purchases, it's like master brands. They make cabinets, right, for residential homes. That's their single biggest buy. They bought, looks like about $21 million of that in the quarter. They were buying Invitation Homes. They were buying Vici, one of our all-time favorite REITs. They own casinos on the Strip and around the country. They had a lot of stuff on the Strip, including some nearby golf courses and some raw land, about 40 acres worth, that are worth just an absolute fortune. Casinos pay really long-term. They sign really long-term leases with kickers and everything else. They're buying American Homes for Rent. They're buying Builders First Source. They're buying Mohawk Industries. So they bought a ton of real estate related investments. Now, these guys are among the very, very best long-term investors. They have, from my mind, one of the three best economists in the world running their macro side in Torsten Slok. When I see them move heavily into a sector, or for that matter, out of a sector, I pay a whole lot of attention to that. But they were loading up on the building supply stores companies, and they were buying a lot of REITs. They also bought, by the way, gaming and leisure properties, so they have exposure to most of the casino industry in the United States. They are, at least co-owners of the real estate. And then, of course, they bought Owens Corning too, because you can't build a house without insulation, as we all know. So, if you're not starting to build real estate in your long-term portfolio, you should be. And do it. I know Ryan does, and he'll get mad at me for sharing it. But Ryan uses Starwood, and every time Starwood's down, like it is the other day, he does the smart thing and invests a little bit. And that's a great way to get it, because they're lending and owning real estate. And Barry Stern looked at his team, have about a 40-year track record of very successful investing. So Apollo's...
just to be clear, I'm not mad about that at all. I got several other people in here that watched Starwood. We got a great alert yesterday as that thing ticked down and then bounced intraday. So not mad at all. Keep preaching, Tim.
Yeah. And then Kohlberg, Kravis, and Roberts, and these guys, look, they're huge, right? You would think at some point they got so big they'd lose their edge. And it just never happens. They run the top performing private equity firms, and their public equity side shoots the lights out. They beat about 98% of all managers out there. Now, again, this quarter, this is like the 9th quarter in a row, they're loading up on debt. They're buying a lot of shorter term, high yield debt, junk bonds. They're not buying the junky junk. They're buying the 2 upper tiers of junk, but they're buying. Now, here's one, and this, you got to be a little bit of a risk taker to get into this one. You got to love volatility. But they were buying lots of Oxford Lane Capital, OXLC. Oxford Lane invests in CLOs, collateralized loan obligation, probably the single most volatile portion of the overall debt market. They pay out what they receive. They use an enormous amount of borrowed money. The dividend trailing 12 months is 47%. Do not let that be your guideline. But you're probably going to come up with a dividend yield in the mid-teens over time. You're trading at about half a book. So if KKR is right about their credit thesis, and remember all the tailwinds, right, that we talked about in the economy. So when we look at this, even when we get down into private credit, it ain't as bad as the headlines or actually even close to that. If this thing works, you're looking at the potential for a massive home run. If it doesn't work, all it has to do is survive. So if it just survives and pays out a dividend, you could still end up with a 20% long-term total return. Not for the faint of heart. Please don't put your mother's account in it, but sticking a little bit in an account might not be the dumbest thing you ever did.
I will say with these stocks that pay high dividends like that, especially with a monthly frequency, charts like this scare me. This reminds me of PSEC, PSEC, just in terms of the chart and the dividend and all of that. It just kept going down. And so I think the outline there about the risks here could be a home run, but be careful and maybe don't go too crazy with it. I think that's the smart move.
No, that's exactly right. There is a little bit of difference between the CLOs and the type of private credit that PSEC was doing, but we don't have time for that today.
No problem.
All right, now they were also buying Crescent Energy. We love Crescent Energy. That's another stock that if it goes down, I buy it. It's the vehicle.
What's Crescent? What's
CRGY? They bought Contango or oil and gas a few years ago and combined it with part of their energy division. And they're using it as a primary roll-up vehicle for oil and gas interests in the United States, primarily natural gas, right? They buy proven fields with long lives, right? We're not wildcatting here, okay? The executives are all members of the KKR Energy team. They do not take a salary. They take stock. They've already getting paid by KKR. They pay out a lot of cash flow as a dividend. They keep their debt kind of pretty much normalized. They buy back stock opportunistically. This is, patient investors. You're going to get up one day and this thing's going to be a 10-bagger. So it's not going to happen overnight. It's just going to kind of grind along. You reinvest the dividend, and either they're going to end up buying the whole thing in or at 10-baggers over time because they're going to end up owing significant chunks. Just remember, every time oil drops, marginal operators, right? Family-owned, smaller ones, oil concerns that just happen to be a part of a larger company, they hit the blocks, and they hit the blocks at discounted prices because they don't want to write the checks necessary to keep the thing in business. So that's KKR was also buying a little. So they were buying some utilities, interesting, which I guess yesterday's deal makes that all of a sudden seem really smart. But their biggest utility position was PPLC, which is the old Pennsylvania Power and Light. Now, I'm going to give you one more. I give you this one every quarter, and then I'm going to get out of the way for 13. But the one firm that you should absolutely be paying attention to is a little firm by the name of Donald Smith and Company, and nobody's ever heard of it. They do not advertise. They do not market. They are probably a little bit irritated with me. They did mention one time that they weren't fans of it. For continuing to discuss how good they are and that you should steal their ideas. They are the only money manager of which I am aware that limits their buying activity to the bottom 10% of stocks as measured by price to book value. That's their universe, right? That's the universe I live in. That's how I know who they are. Now, Mr. Smith passed away a few years ago, but the team that he began training when he opened this firm are still running it. These guys are a compounding machine. For the last 20 years, they have 25 years, they have compounded at almost 20%. Very quietly, low volatility, buying stuff pretty much that either you never heard of or you don't care about because it's trading below book value. But again, they apply that can it survive until it thrives again filter that I like to use. So what are they buying? Well, I'm glad you asked, Ryan. They are buying SM Energy Company. The symbol is SM. That's comes to us as a result of a recent merger. Park Hotels and Resorts. This thing's trading at like half a book. They own some of the best hotels in America.
What was the ticker?
That's PK on that one.
PK, got it.
Mm-hmm. And then they're buying Corebridge Financial. That's CRBG. They're buying Genworth Financial, GNW. Now here's one for everybody here. This one's for Hamid and all the other gold bugs out there. They continue to buy CGAU, which is Centerra Gold. Now, 4 or 5 years ago, when you looked at this list, and remember, gold was way out of favor. Nobody ever wanted to own gold again. Gold was terrible. You didn't even want to give your wife a gold necklace. Gold was out. And these guys were loading the boat on gold stocks, not because they're gold bugs, but because they were good businesses trading below tangible book value. And the double bonus there, of course, was a lot of their book was in gold, and that price also recovered. They've started selling them recently, but they still are buying CGAU. They're also buying PennyMac Financial Services, which is PFSI, Titan International, Heavy Machinery, TWI, and Guardian Metal Resources, again with the gold. And let's see, Harley Davidson. And I absolutely love Harley Davidson, HOG. It is cheap. There are reasons it is cheap, right? Because their average customer is about 106. But they're finding ways to market to the younger generation. Maybe they come up with modernized Sons of Anarchy a little bit, because that was remarkably good, that series, for Harley Davidson sales. There was a clear correlation in there. And then one of my favorites is NMR, Nomura, which is a fantastic way to play my bullish bent on Japan, but they're also expanding throughout most of the key Asian markets. So it's also a way to play the continued rise of Asia over the next 40 or 50 years. So Donald Smith and Company, y'all can go back to sleep now and forget everything that I said, because that's what you do most quarters. But I'm just going to tell you something. That is one of the best shopping lists for stocks that you will ever have. Take deeply undervalued stocks with great credit profiles, then apply some of your technical tools to that. Let me know what happens for you. Send me a box of donuts, name a kid after me, whatever it takes, because that will make you an enormous amount of money.
Just don't send him Orioles paraphernalia, because he's not happy with them right now.
Well, I'm still happy.
Last night?
No, hell no, they didn't get one. But I'm still wearing it. Yeah, you got to represent your team. I mean, 4-1.
I got respect for that. You're not no bandwagon Orioles fan. When they're losing, you're still putting the gear on. That's how it's done, Tim.
Let me be honest and be fair that, because of where I live, I'm also thinking of getting a second TV, just so maybe I can have the Braves game on over here and watch a team that actually knows how to win baseball games.
Fair enough.
Clearly we do not at this point in time. Anyway, guys, thank you for allowing me to come by and run my mouth for a little bit, share some ideas with you. But seriously, you need to be paying attention, particularly to Apollo to KKR. KKR's lead economist is Henry McVeigh. Apollo's is Torsten Slok. They both publish all their stuff on their website. They're brilliant. They think differently than everybody else, and they can say something that most economists on Wall Street cannot say. For the last 10 years, they have been dead cold stone cold right. So having the right macro background helps. Ryan, have a fantastic vacation. So I guess I won't see you guys next week because you're going off to
We
pay,
won't. We will not. We will not have you because there will not be a show on Wednesday. But Tim, we'll get you back as soon as we can. We also do some nighttime presentations as well. I got good news for you here. Lion Atlas, or Hamid, as you know him, he's going to name his kid Tim Jr. And it looks like Rooster's son is named Melvin. So you are represented well already.
Well done. I see you knew I was coming.
Yep, perfect. Now, if you could just do me a big favor and trade me the next Jake Arrieta of the Cubs, we'd be really appreciative of that.
And now look, we did it once. All right, you guys got a World Series out of it. You're welcome. But you know what? I really wouldn't worry about it because Gunnar Henderson's going to hit the blocks. He ain't staying in Baltimore. Maybe he would look fantastic in Cubs blue, would he not? So
yeah, he would. I'm not going to lie about that. Okay, I'll be honest with you. I'm going to need some help. GB Slice, I'm going to need some help. Tim went so fast, I couldn't get them all. So I posted what I have here. I know several other folks watched some of those tickers.
All right, whoever's doing this in the background, kudos, man. You are on top of it because that's all the tickers.
That was me, but awesome.
That was you.
Yeah,
yeah. I think I threw a few others out, but really, if you homework, go to sec.gov, look at Apollo Management Holdings, look at Colbert, Kravis and Roberts, and Donald Smith and Company. You know, the one you'll never look at. Because price to book value doesn't work, which I got to give the house back and all that. And my wife's going to be really upset about that. But everything that you want to know will be in the actual 13F filings. You should know how to read them anyway.
Yeah, and if you don't, Claude does. So we're in good shape. Tim, have a good rest of your Wednesday. Have a great weekend. We'll talk to you next time.
Hey, thanks, everybody. See you in a couple weeks.
All right, that is Tim Melvin. The show keeps rolling here. No street tweets here for you today. We're going to try and give 13 back as much time as possible. You know what that means. It is pre-market pulse time. Let's get it rolling. $13, good morning. How you doing, man?
I'm doing just fine. How's the internet?
Oh, dude, we are cooking over here. I don't think I told the story to anybody. So yesterday, my internet is out all day, right? All day. God bless the hotspot for saving us. Thank you for helping with all of that.
Sure.
But I'm outside because I literally don't have anything else to do. I have no TV. So I'm doing my tasks for work and I'm getting up, I'm going out, and I notice that they're out there. The workers are out there. They're close to my house. I see all the trucks. So I go up to them. They're ripping heaters. And I go up to them and I'm like, hey, are you guys doing the Comcast work? And they're like, yeah. I was like, is it going to be done soon? He's like, yep, we're just wrapping up here. You're going to be all set pretty soon. And I said, are you guys coming back tomorrow? He said, nope, we're all done. Everything's going to be fine. You know what?
Promise?
I did not, but knock on wood, so far, that gentleman who was very polite was also quite accurate. So I'm doing really good, and thank God, because we have a busy day here today. We interviewed DPro CEO Cameron Chell. They released some pretty big news today and traded up. Obviously, we had Tim. Now we're going to break down the pre-market pulse. We've got story trading coming, so thank gosh everything is working. 13, call the ball. Where do we start here?
Well, it was interesting. You had Tim bringing up several tickers, and one of them was Hog. And I thought it was just worth bringing up that I noticed that company tends to have some pretty good seasonality in the lead up to Sturgis, which happens in August. So you could go to the chart and just look at from that July into August run up that it typically happens every year, where you do get a little bit of a rally into.
I'll be damned. I'll be damned. 13, the last 3 years, just eyeball 4 years now.
Keep going.
13. 13 found it. Okay, so July. Okay. So 2021, it looks like it dipped a little bit. Actually, I still think I see a pop in there, 13. It was short-lived. The 4 years after that, exactly what you just said has happened.
Yeah, so just, an idea, and this is something we can explore later in the happy hour, but Hog tends to have some pretty good seasonality in the lead up to Sturgis.
Okay, awesome. Well, that's good stuff on the back of one of the picks. That, remember, Tim said all those came from private equity, and they're the smart ones. So keep that under your hat. All right.
Now, for the junkier stuff,
should I move over to the movers?
Sure. Let's look at This was on the list, but I didn't take too long to look at it. MWC. This is a new IPO. I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time on this. I didn't really take a good look at it because there's just not enough to look at. It has 2.85 million shares. Like I said, new IPO. I have resistance at 850 and 1050.
Okay.
That's all I'm going to say.
Well, do we have any idea what the super spike above 25 was here today? No, we had nothing fresh from the after hours yesterday.
No, I think it's just because it just, IPO and then it just sold off, and I think this is part of the rebound.
Okay, so just post IPO volatility is what we think here.
Exactly.
MWC. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Next one on the list. Oh, well, what do you have on your list? We can go down that one first. Perfect. RKDA. This is Arcadia Biosciences. You can see this was this penny stock? Yep. Penny stock yesterday, just shy of 92 cents. We spiked up to 140 here today. We've pulled back. We actually have tried to get above the VWAP, and although we've peaked above it, we haven't really been able to move above it. Let's see what we had here. We had a 13G. So
no, we didn't.
I'm sure you've gone through this already, so I'm not even going to waste time on that.
That was last Friday. I don't think that's what this is going on.
Oh, okay. Well, then I beg your pardon there. As far as the short interest goes here, negligible, 0.3% in the percent of float shorted. Literally 6,000 shares held short. That is nothing in there. Float is 2 million, so it's right in our wheelhouse. It's a ghost town otherwise, but today, 23 million shares. Producer says, I thought the ticker was for Arcadia Bluffs. And actually, when I first was trying to read it when I was trying to read the watermark through the candles here, I thought of that golf course too, producer. So you're not alone there. 13. What is making this stock move here today?
I don't think this is going on any news. What this might actually be going on is a couple of technical things, low RSI and a double bottom. If you look at a daily chart, yesterday we hit a low of, 88 cents, which was also right in the same area. I think it's just 1 penny shy back on April 17th, that same low. So that low RSI, because it was sub 30, that low RSI combined with the double bottom, I think this is just a technical move that was here, and it's resulted in a move above the 20-day SMA. So I'm not sure how high this will end up going. Let me go back to this. It looks like it's trying to get back over VWAP right now, which I have at 120. If this does manage to get back over and start trading up, resistance I have at 140. And that's also something you can see if you look at the price action back from April before we drop down and make that low that we just came off of. That 140 area was trying to get recaptured after losing it end of March, and it struggled for almost an entire month before it finally fell lower. So 140 is going to be the big resistance I see to get over here this morning.
Okay. I'm going to pause here real quick because Reaching Financial Freedom would like to take a victory lap here, and I think that's well earned. Hello, 13. I told you guys when I bought SLS way back at 106, and it's over 8 today, and may keep going. Reaching Financial Freedom, definitely one step closer to reaching your financial freedom with a trade like this. You know what we'll do for this? Register ring for you. You said it, so I'm just going to ask you a follow-up. You said it may keep going. What kind of target do you have for this? How far do you think that this can keep going? Is this something that people should maybe add to their watch list? Let us know what you think there. SLS. Still very much a short squeeze here, I would say. 31% of the float shorted, almost 12 days to cover. You, sir, have a fantastic little squeeze here going, and I don't know where this ends. It's getting extended, but I don't know where this ends. Okay, Reaching Financial Freedom. We'll take it. We'll take that positivity there. Really good stuff. Congratulations. Yep, congrats. Okay, was pets on your list? It looks like, what is this nonsense? It is, but I just basically wrote two things down about this. China. Pretty close. I wrote pump and 130. Okay, so it's a pump and dump. What's the 130? That's a level. Let me make sure if I've got it as resistance here. Hold on a second. Let's pull this up in my broker. I see it.
Gross.
I'll be damned.
Yeah.
I see it.
Yeah, 130. That's a resistance level. It's also right about where VWAP is, at least my VWAP. So if we do manage to get some kind of push up, that's where I think the price is going to run into some resistance. And I don't know how great this is going to be. It could go past that and keep going, but this is going to probably be very volatile and manipulated. So if you decide you're going to trade it, just be very careful.
Okay. All right. Good stuff there. PETZ. We did RKDE or RKDA, excuse me. Next one on the list here, IMVT, Immunovant. Was this on your list as well?
No, that's all for my list, but I did write down Poet because I noticed that was getting a little bit of a lift this morning too, and I have a resistance level of $16. I don't know. Okay,
we'll do Poet next because I actually have a little bit on that as well.
Okay.
IMVT. This is Immunovant. Shares are trading. Oh, excuse me. Shares are trading higher. The company reported Q4 financial results. I guess the conference call is over, according to Pro here. So it looks like this is traded up. Done a really good job holding higher here by 19%. The EPS missed, 73-cent loss. That's slightly greater than the 60-cent loss that was expected. I'll probably have to dig through the PR here. Market seems to be rewarding this. Quick peek at the short interest on this name, 20.89% with 10 days to cover. Guess what? Another short squeeze candidate here, ticker IMVT. That's Indigo Mary Victor Tango, by the way. Float on this name, 88.9 million on average trades, just shy of 1.4 million shares. It's done 1.25 already prior to the open. So just looking at this, looks like it's moving here on earnings. Looks like we have a double top up near 34.5. We've bled back past the VWAP. We've actually also lost the 15 EMA. That puts the 65 EMA up next. Let me see if I've got a fair value gap on this chart.
30? Is it maybe 30?
I think that I do. I think it is. That is exactly right. So their 15-minute fair value gap is going to be from right here, just under 28, right up to about 30. It's actually going to be the bottom of this candle here. What is that? The 810? Yeah, the 710 candle, excuse me. So here's your fair value gap. It is unmitigated. We'll see if we get back into that.
That seems like the technical plan there. You got your 65 EMA and the fair value gap. So if you do get the price to come down there, that seems like a pretty good spot to try to take the trade. We'll just have to see how it's the price action is at that time. Clear resistance. You have the two EMAs that you mentioned, the 9 and 15, but VWAP, that's the big level that needs to be recaptured if we're going to test those double top highs again. Otherwise, we're just going to resolve lower and have that double top take us down. I mean, I don't have a measurement tool here, but that's kind of the scenario I would think that we would need to see. If this does weaken and come back in, we want to get that fair value gaps, that fair value support, turn around and recapture VWAP. That would be ideal. We'll see if we get all that.
Okay. All right. Good stuff there. Next, we'll talk about Poet here. I've been talking about this the past couple of days because I had someone outline a short plan, and it literally almost worked exactly to the dollar amounts that he was talking about. This thing, what's that?
He covered, didn't he?
I haven't asked him, but I will. You know what? Let me. When I turn this over to you, 13, I'm gonna go to the washroom. I will text him and I will see if I can get an updated plan, and I will share it with the group here. We talked about 10 being the target. This thing found support at 12. It's up 15% today. The reason it's up today is because it was bought in a 13G there. It looks like the company here, and I have some notes on it. Company here is Merrick's Group. They're organized in the United Kingdom, and they bought a 6% share of Poet here. That's what's driving this higher. So we'll see if this is enough to make it bounce or for that to continue. This is what your daily chart looks like. So on the daily, it looks like we did kind of bounce off of the 15 EMA level. The other thing to note is that we did have a previous resistance area that was right about 15.5. We're at 15.10 right now. So we'll see if we have enough strength to move through that or if that actually sets up here as resistance. 13, did you have anything on Poet that you want to cover?
Just the $16 resistance level that I noticed earlier. I think that's where this price is going to run into some trouble. If you look at a 5-minute chart and look to the left a couple of days, you can see there's a bit of a consolidation area.
Indeed.
That's about 15.75 to 16. That is a little concerning there. And then you do have this recovering on the daily chart. So this is looking pretty good. Like we might actually continue to go higher. I just don't exactly know how high we're going to go today. But this does look like it's getting that support down from the 20-day SMA area. And this is a nice reversal candle off of that on a daily chart. So I think that we are going to get some kind of up move here. Like I said, I don't know exactly how high it's going to be. 16 is the earliest resistance I see. If we get past that, maybe 1750. But like I said, I don't know how high beyond that.
Okay. All right. Good stuff there. Yassine says keys will go green at the open. Yassine, I covered the keys earnings in the A block earlier. If you're interested in that, I actually didn't ask if anyone had a trade on that, but I appreciate you sharing. Good stuff. We're actually going to watch keys here. Yeah.
I think Chris was also talking about taking a trade in keys. I don't recall if he was long or short though.
Okay, that must have been from the happy hour last night, which
no,
I missed.
it was earlier this morning in the chat.
Oh, okay. Then I just missed it because I was going with stuff. All right. Rooster says, can we please take a look at AMPG? It's breaking up over the weekly trend line at 313. That happens to be the next stock in the list here. I'm going to go ahead and read the news, have you break down the chart and step away. Will that be all right? It
Sure.
won't be long at all. Okay. AMPG, this is Amplitech Group. The shares are trading higher after the company announced it received a full FCC and Innovation, Science, and Economic Development Canada certifications for its complete 5G native distributed antenna system solution. Okay, sounds like a mouthful there, but it actually sounds like that is some good news on some of those certifications. AMPG is higher here by 14.79%. Rooster said it looks like it's breaking out of a weekly trend. I would imagine what you were referring to is about this high here that's just shy of 5. We'll see. But 13, you tell me what you see here about this stock and the news. I will be right back.
So I see that trend line you're talking about. That's and you can tell me if I'm drawing it correctly, but I've got it started with the December 2024 highs. I drew it through the September 2025 highs, and then there's also a candle from January this year that you could use. And we are breaking through this trend line this week. As a matter of fact, when you go to a daily chart, yesterday we actually closed above it for the first. I'm sorry, not yesterday. 2 days ago, Monday, we broke through it for the first time. Yesterday we back tested it, went beneath it, but still ended up closing above it. As well as I think $4. Did we close above $4? No, just a penny shy of $4. And now here we are continuing higher. I would think that we are going to get some pullback here at some point today with this. The RSI is pretty extended on the daily now with an 85, and it looks like we're coming up to some resistance in the 4 handle. I would say maybe around just shy of 5. We could see some resistance that pulls this back in. That's a maybe. And the highs that we've actually already done this morning were 488, so that kind of lines up pretty well. If we are going to go past 488, I think, I'm not really sure that we'll go a whole lot higher than that. I would need some convincing. It looks like the price is trying to get back beyond the VWAP, but at 488, 489 area where that high from September of 2025 is, I think that's going to be the resistance today. Now, if we do manage to get past it, we have the high from December of 24 that we started this trend line. But I don't know that we're going to get up there. It's a big question mark for me, but certainly looks like it's trying to get back above VWAP on the 5-minute.
Okay. All right. Good stuff there. AMPG. Rooster says, thank you, Rooster. Yep. And thank you for all of your support. Joe says, we'll see if this can break that 490 area. I know you talked about 488, yeah. 488, 490, all the same.
Yeah. That's okay.
Couple more things to clean up here. Jay Rice, this might be the comment of the day. I know it's only 9:30 in the morning, but this is the comment of the day. The Knicks game was like buying some 0 DTEs. Yes, it was. As a matter of fact, that is hilarious. Also mentioning here, Target was a big fade. So Target was another earnings report this morning, wasn't it? Indeed.
Oh.
Target reported earnings here. The conference call is concluded. Looks like it initially traded higher up to 131, but big time reversal here. Now down 5%.
Sorry to interrupt you. IMVT is going right down to, and we're open. Oh no, I'm sorry, we're not open. We're 5 minutes till the open, and we have it right down into the fair value area, almost to the 65 EMA. Sorry, I just wanted to point that out.
No, it's fine. Look, if there's something that we talk about and there's a trade and all of that, it's worth mentioning. We've got time here. We've got 5 minutes, so we can do this. So real quick, let me just put it up on my main screen here. I'm going to redraw the fair value gap using the rectangle drawing tool. Started right in here, goes right to the bottom of that candle. Look at that, 13.
That happened real fast after we talked about it. It just only took like about 10 minutes after we looked at it before to have it go right down there.
Look at that.
So let's see if we turn around here.
Okay, really quickly here, it is still the pre-market. I'm rolling through a bunch of things. No position for me in this. I will let you know if I end up buying this, though. No position right now. Okay, as far as the movers go, I think that was it for the movers. Kathy, I would love to get to Kava here. GTC Semiconductor, that's up 16%. I just think that let's just want to see if there's anything worth mentioning here. Yep, don't have any fresh news. That's just up. TE, someone mentioned this in the chat earlier. TE shares plunge following the Fuzzy Panda. This was from yesterday morning. Jay, you had mentioned this yesterday, but someone brought up TE here. 13, you had said in the moment yesterday when we talked about this, hey, this might provide a bounce opportunity for us.
Yep, and it did.
And it did. 1 point there. So you know what, 13? Ring that register, baby. All right, let's take a look here at Kava, though, real quick. And in fact, let me go back to my bigger chart. How much time do we got? 4 minutes? We should be able to do this. No problem. Kava beat on earnings here and traded higher. So here's what the daily chart looks like. We'll start here because it's important. Basically held the 200. And although we weren't on the 200, we were going to it, right? I know we peaked through the 100 and recaptured it. But this move today kind of changes things. We gap above the 50. We gap above the 20. If we can hold above that, that puts the 500 in play next. That's at 90.25. We'll see if we end up getting that. Kava shares are trading higher if the company reported better than expected Q1 financial results and raised its fiscal year 26 guidance. The EPS was 20 cents versus 17-cent estimate. Sales were 438M versus 411M. And then this morning, we also got some re-ratings. Stiefel maintained buy, raises the price target to 105. Baird maintains outperform, raises the price target to 98. TD Cowen reiterates buy, maintains the $100 price target. 13, what do you think here? You got you up for some Kava?
Maybe.
Got a case for some hummus?
I still eat that, but
I love hummus.
I think it looks interesting is on a weekly chart. This looks like it's going through a bit of a reversal here, and if this is going to be an inverse head and shoulders where you have the neckline at like $99 or $100, this could get going again here. Let me just take a little measurement. I don't know if we're going to end up getting all this, but if this inverse head and shoulders resolves completely, we may see prices back up towards the highs that it was at, which would be ridiculous. I don't know if we're going to end up getting that, but it's turning around. You have a reversal pattern. It's recapturing some SMAs, some lagging indicators. Let's see what happens at 100. We could see a move beyond that.
Okay, my gut tells me, Kath. My gut tells me that we try and trade higher than this 12.84%. I don't know if we close higher, but I think we try and trade that higher. We'll see if we end up getting that. We got, less than a minute here. But Bryce, I got you. Bryce, you've asked politely a few times about Wendy's. Let's take a look. Here's the key on Wendy's. We're trading up to the 50-day moving average, right? 881 is going to be your next resistance there. We're back down by 3.2% here today. So it looked like we were curling, trying to get back above the 50. We've pulled a little bit here today. To me, got to stay above the 20. Got that at 752. That's going to be a key area for us to hold here today. Let's see if there was any news moving this here. Wendy's appoints Robert D. Bob Wright as president and CEO. I would have to look into his bio. I don't recognize that name. Sorry, Bryce.
So let's see, are we about to open? Yeah, we are. We're trying to recapture the 200-day SMA on Wendy's.
Okay. All right, here we go. We are open. Let's see what we get here.
Big drop. AMPG out of the gate there, got rejected at VWAP. Poet down as well, trying to get some support near the 65 EMA. IMVT trying to climb higher after finding support from the 65 EMA fair value gap area. And PET's not doing a whole lot just yet. MCW, little sideways, RKDA, trying to push higher.
Okay, so we really want this to hold this 29.76. I think we can probably wait that out, right? I think if we can probably wait that out and it holds that, we might be good on a fair value gap trade here. We shall see. We shall see.
I think that was all-time lows for Wendy's. Not just 5 year. You're right. It's 5 years, but I think that's all-time low. And great call with Forsman there with Vuzix. This I have a trend line with this.
Oh my gosh, IMVT is going. Sorry to interrupt, but that is right up to the 3140 there on IMVT. Perfect. We did not test that 2977. That was a quick bounce there. Woo!
That was nice, fair value, little move there. But look at Vuzix. Okay, so real quick, if you go to a 5 minute, I don't know if you can draw it this fast, but there's a trend line I drew yesterday, and it looks like we're beelining for this right now. The high from Monday, the high from Tuesday. It's
target acquired, rolling in.
Acknowledged. All right, so we're
such dorks, but I love it.
Yeah, Pet's not doing a whole lot yet, still struggling. Lots of sellers, 105, 115, seems like every 10 cents from there. There's a seller. RKDA trying to push up beyond VWAP, still having a hard time with that. Poet trying to recapture VWAP. It might do it here.
That reminds me, let me check there's been so much going on that I haven't even checked my phone. I did ask about that. We'll see here on Poet. That dropped out of the gate. One more, sorry, 13, real quick here. One more. Yassine, we were taking a look at Keys here. Keys did not go up straight out of the open, but it is trying to hold yesterday's intraday lows and the pre-market lows here. So no position for me on Keys. We'll see if it bounces from here. Yassine, keep us posted.
Yeah, it looks like Poet is trying to turn around here, and hold above VWAP. We'll see if it does.
That IMVT bounce is still going.
Vuzix hit a high just a moment ago of 465.
13. You asked. He covered, right? That's what you said to me earlier. Here's his response. I said, did you cover Poet? What's the plan now that the 13G news is out? He said, covered 2 days ago. You never go broke taking a profit. Bulls and bears make money. Pigs get slaughtered.
That's awesome.
Boom.
I need to hear registering.
I need personal lessons on how to short stuff from this guy.
Look at IMVT.
I know.
Awesome.
Fair value gap, getting it done.
That's it.
I'm out of this, by the way. I'm out.
Well done.
That was just a little guy in a couple of seconds there too. That was sweet.
Vuzix almost hitting that trend line. Just on its door knocking. Let me in.
Can't you hear me knocking? This is a good, you know what? Chris, I don't even know if you've closed this out, but it doesn't matter. Registering because you've been on this one for a bit and it has been working. Also worth noting here, SPY sold off, 735 held. I also got really quick, sorry, 13, G-Man again coming in hot here. SPY level to break today, 737, down to hold is 732.86. Your intraday spots yesterday were crispy. Good luck today. Thank you for sharing.
732 is spot I got as well. I think that's what also the area Hakima is mentioning.
And guess what? Keys has started to bounce, Yassine. If you guys all make money-making calls here today, we might need to put a charge on joining the stream. I'm just kidding. I shouldn't even joke about that. It's just been a good morning already, and we're not even 5 minutes into the open here. SLS. Look at SLS is continuing.
Climbing higher. Looking for 9, it looks like.
Lav asking, what does that mean, G for poet? Well, what does mean G mean? What do you mean by that? Basically, poet was running up, and I was talking to one of my trader buddies that has been doing this for like 4 decades, and he was running through his thesis to short. And the reason that we're talking about it today is because the last 3 days, the short had worked. And we got news today about a company called Merrick's taking a 6% stake in the stock. So the reason that I reached out to him is I said, how do you alter your trade plan given this news? Happened to be a moot point. The stock fell so fast, he took profit ahead of his target. So what it meant is that the short worked and he's out of it. And he got gains so quickly that he was able to take them. It actually reminds me a lot of how Lion traded Car, right? Lion got gains right away and then trimmed it on the way down and did it quickly. Anyway, hope that answers your question there.
Looks like those bounces are slowing down, those reversals. Vuzix still kind of hanging out above VWAP, so that's encouraging. I would love to see it break beyond that trend line.
This MWC is halted. This got back to the VWAP, broke through the VWAP after a little bit of consolidation, and is halted to the upside now. MWC halted upside 1360.
Yep, new IPO. Remember, this one has the resistance areas of 850 and 1050. Well, we already blew past that, so never mind.
Joe, Ryan, what's your gut on NVIDIA earnings? Everyone knows it goes down after earnings. Will the market makers trick retail this time, or does the pattern continue? Joe, this is a great question. I'll tell you specifically. First of all, it's very easy for me to answer your question because I don't have money behind this call right now. So just as full disclosure, I don't have a trade on for NVIDIA earnings. That being said, my gut tells me that you get a beat on the top and the bottom line. You get a guidance raise, and the stock might pop a little bit. Tomorrow is really going to be the key. I wouldn't be shocked if NVIDIA trades down tomorrow. I can't guarantee that it's going to do that in the after hours, though. IMVT going to it right now.
Yeah, it's still above VWAP, trying to push into the 32.5 area. Struggling with some resistance in the 32 handle right now, but still holding above VWAP. MCW said that was halted. RKDA, that's trying to push higher.
Caps, this got mentioned by somebody. I think it was Kathy earlier. Caps, this pushed away off the VWAP. It's a penny stock. TE, this is after the Fuzzy Panda report yesterday. Oh, so first of all, Jay, I'm very glad that you brought this up yesterday because I didn't have it right in the immediate moment. But TE is continuing here. Another short report that has given entry for a potential trade. Lion, did you change? Did you trade this? Let me know.
RKDA.
What do you got? Sorry.
RKDA is trying to make a move up to 125. There's a big seller at 130. Volume expansion will take them out if we get it. This is a nice move through the trend line. That fantasticness. And I think the only thing that's okay, so look, we're still getting some support here on the VWAP with Vuzix as well. IBT still holding theirs. Pets, this is just still popping and dropping. Not sure about this one. It's kind of, I don't know. I don't know about pets. Trade it at your own risk.
Okay. No, Ryan, I didn't know about TE. Sorry. Then that means we dropped the ball. Average options. I appreciate you a lot. A sell a put on NVDL. The IV is high. Actually, Anne-Marie talked about that. NVIDIA don't move that much. We've actually seen that the last couple of prints. It has not moved what the options has expected it, but the IV will crush anyway. So the trade plan for average options here is to sell a put on NVDL. Interesting. And I appreciate you sharing that with the group. RKDA through the VWAP 13.
Fantastic.
Well, I love when my internet's not going out. I just want to throw that out there.
It's a good feeling.
It's a great feeling. Okay. It's a really good fit. Producer, how are we doing today? A lot better, right? GG's. Couldn't have done that during my vacation, Comcast.
RKDA still trying to push higher, looking for that 130. I don't know how much time we have left on the MCW halt, but that might be on halting soon. Probably will see some resistance between the 14 and 16 handles.
Let me try and help with that. It was halted at 9:35:44. It is 9:40 right now. We are less than 40 seconds until possible unhalt. MWC.
And here comes Vuzic.
No, there's no reason to rewatch. The comment is right here in chat. It's right here in chat. Yeah, producer says it's so much better when the internet works. Yeah, it is. Yes, it is. Tesla, whoa, a whole bunch of call sweeps as Tesla moves to the highs here, 412. The contracts here are the 415s. Those are today. A lot of zero DTE trading on Tesla as it rips to the highs. VIDA, is that the recent IPO that you mentioned that Reggie is on here?
No, that's MWC.
MWC, okay. Vita here, this is up 20%. Maybe that makes a move back to its VWAP. Kathy also mentioning ARM.
I mean, the Vita,
look at ARM.
Vita might have IPO'd recently. It looks like they did, like on what, Friday?
Guys, Tesla calls, I'm sorry for interrupting.
Sure.
Tesla calls are still going off. These are the 420s that expired today. Tesla is mooning.
Did SpaceX file their S1 or something? I'm just kind of wondering why that's going off. What was the news on it?
Let me see. I don't think I see any here. The Samsung strike was canceled. I just went over that news here this morning, Jay. Is that a new update to that?
Oh,
that would be good.
That would be very good.
Okay, so as far as the news on Tesla, I don't see anything here that would explain the call buying that we're seeing from the scanner.
Yeah, guys, I understand Vita's a new IPO. I think, but he was asking the one that we were talking about, which was MWC. You're right. Vita is a new IPO as well.
Yep. You guys are also mentioning Cerberus being up 10% here today. Brian saying those buys under 313. The identification of the 300 level and its importance to the Cerberus trade, spot on. Look at this thing since it did it. It even back tested it.
Leonidas is smiling down at us. Vuzic's testing the high, came within a few cents, a little bit more volume. We might see a higher print. AMPG is yet to put in a green candle, but did have a nice rebound off of 420. Poet trying to recapture VWAP. IMVT, this is continuing higher, although it's starting to look like it could turn around here pretty soon as it approaches 33. Getting a little weakness in our RKDA. Pets still doing nothing. MWC is open. It did print higher, but it is coming back towards VWAP.
So really quick, so Jay says, Ryan, it's probably on the SpaceX file. Did something new happen? Didn't SpaceX file for the IPO on April 1st? What was the new event that took place? It's possible something happened. I just missed it.
Well, their S1 filing is going to happen by Friday. It's going to happen. It has to.
Okay, so it's positioning for that then, right? I think that's what we're talking about.
See, so that's why I was asking if it was the S1 filing. If it's going to be, see, my thought is it's going to be it's going to be one of the next few days. I think they could do it right after NVIDIA has their earnings. Poet's going, by the way. I also think they could do it after they launch the Starship Flight 12, which is supposed to happen tomorrow after hours. So it could be any one of those days, but there's a couple of scenarios where it could just happen right after those events. it'd be interesting if, because you had that liquidity for Nvidia off their earnings that you would need in order to sell out of it to raise capital for the SpaceX IPO. So I could see Musk filing in light of that volatility, but I'm just waiting for when we do get that filing. That's when's next, because they want to start their roadshow in early June.
Hey, Yassine sold keys for green. Big B's. I was wrong about keys. I've changed my mind. I'm now long.
Awesome.
On keys. Are you long stock or through options? Let us know. That's awesome, though. Congrats. What else did I miss here? I think I got it all. Okay. By the way, did anyone end up trading NN? I know this is one I mentioned a little bit ago. I told you I think we could get 20 or 21 out of it. I ended up taking my gains at 19 and change, so a little bit early. Look what we got here. 2280s now. Did anyone take this trade and make money off this trade? Entry was in the 16s. 6 points in just a couple of weeks. Really good stuff.
Real quick with regard to SpaceX, so I was watching them roll out and stack the booster and the Starship vehicle yesterday. They are going to do a wet dress rehearsal pretty soon. It looks like it's going to start in about 15 minutes. That's basically where they go through all the launch steps prior to actual ignition. So this is the test just before the flight. MWC, by the way, holding a VWAP. This is looking like it's trying to push up towards a $13 handle, but still having a hard time. So, but Starship, that test coming up, and it could be after that event or on Friday, or it could be right after NVIDIA earnings. Maybe right after they have their earnings print in the after hours, they announce it, or they do it the morning after on Thursday.
Neville's mentioning NASA. I think you're mentioning the ticker for the ETF that we've talked about a few times.
That's one of them. Yeah, that and UFO.
Yeah, I think that's what he's referencing here. I don't think it's part of the conversation on the SpaceX IPO.
Well, I mean, it's still relevant because I think you could see a lift in that and UFO as well, because I would expect that the SpaceX IPO to give a halo effect to the other space names.
By the way, market is bouncing. Mm-hmm. All right, market is bouncing. G-Man, bro, I have a feeling that bounced almost dead off the spot that you gave earlier. I feel like it was really close. What's the actual bottom of this candle? G-Man, I can't find your comment, so you might have to remind me here. Low on this was 734.27.
Pets finally made a move, popped up and went right to VWAP. It's VWAP right at this moment, struggling.
Kava sold its pop. This is actually into the earnings pop, about a 50% retracement of the earnings, but it is trying to bounce here. It looks like $80 is the level. SPY continuing to push higher. This has been a good morning already. This is how you get sent off into a vacation, folks.
Yeah, so if the market's down tomorrow, it's his fault.
I won't be here, so if you must blame me, if you must.
Nice, Gina. Hive also offers SpaceX pre-IPO. What do you mean they offer? Is it like when you're talking like a secondary market offering, or is this that they have private shares like like Google and Bank of America and EchoStar do?
Zach mentioning DPro also sold its pop. This isn't breaking down, though. The one thing I will say about DPro, we've seen this with some of the drones where we've clearly recognized that we're still in the very early innings of this. But this did come back. Still holding on to green by about 0.5%, but it did sell that pre-market pop, unfortunately.
A little
great
bit
interview, though. Cameron's great, and I look forward to having him back on. Fantastic.
Vuzix still trying to hold above its VWAP, just kind of gearing up for another move up higher, hopefully. It looks like it's starting to put in a bit of a ascending triangle after this impulse move here. We'll see if that ends up resolving higher. Sorry, go ahead.
This is doing its absolute best to try and go to that trend line.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it is trying.
Mm-hmm.
It is trying. And then I also missed a register ring for our friend Chris. Chris, I'm sorry about that. There's been a lot going on here. It sounds like you were in Apple. I know you often trade Apple here. Sold this into its pop above 300. Big Mama is back. I love it. Let's see if we can hold 300 and keep our run going. Keys getting a little bit of a pullback here off of its impulse reversal high. Might not be it for Keys.
I say it a lot, Jay. We can't be in everything, but you've had a lot of great calls and trades. So but yeah, this Marvell one has been fantastic, and we talked about this too, about how it could when it was starting to recover. And let's see, that must have been, let's go to the chart here. I feel like that was like in February or earlier this year before it went on this massive run beyond 100. That was a good one. But we can't catch them all.
Can't catch them all. Marvell was a great one. There are a lot of folks from our channel that benefited from Marvell. Another shout out to Paulo, one of our Friday guests in the Trading Made Simple group. Marvell, his biggest position, that was a big winner.
Seeing a broad pull across the movers.
I'm seeing a broad pull in the market as well here. So we pulled off that 737 high that G-Man again outlined in the chat. G-Man, you've got this SPY trading levels thing down to a science right now. Westcap says I'm just long the S&P. Westcap, what do you think here with this pullback? Is this a trade that you're just going to take off the table if it moves against you? Are you looking to add to it? What's the thought process on the S&P long?
So I didn't know that you could get it from HIIV. Okay, so I think that's different than ticker HIV. I don't think those are the same companies. I might be wrong, but I'm pretty sure they're not the same.
Let's go through the rest of the list here. Boy, I'm kind of glad things simmered a little bit. I felt like I was head on a swivel there. MWC halted to the downside here. 951 was your time of halt. Joe says, Ryan, do you know what Ondas is imploring shareholders to vote on? I don't. I can try and find that for you, though. Lion reminding everybody that he recommended Marvell when it was 87. Huge, huge, huge winner for our group. There were a lot of folks that were on this. And actually, okay, so the SPY here. Let me zoom in on this so I can see my indicator here. It's battling right now and it's not sure what to do.
I don't know if this is current, but I think Ondas is urging shareholders or cast their votes to establish necessary quorum for their annual meeting. I don't know if that's answers the question that he has about what they're voting on, but that's just what this most recent information I have is saying. So that might be it. I don't know. Double check.
Okay.
Right. HIIV is a secondary market. That I understand, but the ticker that he gave was HIVE, which is Hive Digital Technologies. I'm pretty sure that's not the same thing.
Okay, here you go. Here's what I have for you. Joe, to answer your question, Ondas is voting on 5 items at its next annual shareholder meeting, electing 4 directors, ratifying BDO USA as its auditor, those that know BDO, advisory approval of executive compensation, increasing the authorized common stock from 800 million to 1.2 billion. That's what you asked about directly. and expanding the 2021 stock incentive plan. That meeting is scheduled for Thursday, May 28th, 10 a.m. Eastern in West Palm Beach, Florida. The two biggest items from a market impact standpoint are the proposed increase in authorized shares and the increase to the equity incentive pool, with both can affect dilution and future financing abilities.
Okay. I was saying okay to Lion. All right. Yeah, because when you mentioned HIVE, and I was like, well, that's not the same thing. I didn't even know that the Hive Digital was offering SpaceX shares. It was like, be careful of scams. There's these companies trying to sell or say they're selling SpaceX shares on secondary markets that are total scams. Be careful of those. That's why I was scratching my head at that.
I would never trust any of that. I think that's a really good mention, 13.
Looks like pets is continuing to climb, and we also had.
I wonder the same, Joe. I wonder the same. I don't have an answer for you on that. Sorry, 13. Pets.
I was just mentioning some things that are I'm seeing coming in. Looks like some of the names we were trading earlier, like Poet, that one's about to make some new session lows. So waiting for that MWC to unhalt. Vuzix getting support from the VWAP, but not looking like it's got a lot of volume, so we might see this come back in. Lion mentioning MX says, watch this small semi name. This Magna chip. We've looked at this before, I feel like. Sign manufacturers, analog and mixed semiconductor. This sounds very much like some of the things that TXN makes.
Jay, I saw you sent me something else. I'll go through that here when I get a chance. Velo getting killed. Indeed, it is. That's almost back down to the 15 area that we have talked about.
Good.
1566. This is actually below yesterday's intraday lows. Don't love that. I mean, unless you're waiting for a pullback, then I'm sure you love it. Keys might be trying to go higher. Big B's on keys. Westcap, I appreciate this. I had asked you about your S&P trade earlier. You said, I'm actually looking to buy some more into a dip on one-day DTE, so tomorrow's expiry. For SPXU, S&P, I believe NVIDIA will lift the market until tomorrow. Okay.
Or tonight. Yeah, it looks like Velo's down the most with Cooler a close second, AAOI and Sidus Space tied for third. I mean, all the space names almost all the space names are getting hammered down. But
I wonder if we're going to get another pop on or around the SpaceX IPO.
That's what I've been expecting is that we're going to see a halo effect, and it's going to give all these a lift. That's my expectation.
ARM here, by the way, we talked about this. Kathy mentioned this when it was 10%. ARM now 12.5%. Keys new day highs as well. Hedgehog mentioning that BE is popping. That's Bloom Energy.
All right, let's take a closer look at MX for
what a stock this was.
Entry levels. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Let me go to the big chart. We'll pull up MX. I'll do it for you.
Wow. So this thing is trying to recover from its downtrend that it's been in since the pandemic, since 2021. Now, I wonder if this suffered from that overcapacity of chips that we experienced right after that pandemic. I think it was like 2022 that we were getting a lot of that. And yeah, look at this. This really did sink in 2022. That kind of baselined around 8, and then it fell further in 23. We have a golden cross. It looks like you're if you have a long-term horizon on this, I guess then your entry's probably fine anywhere down here. But 6 looks like the next area of resistance, big resistance to me. Look at larger time frames here. Oh yeah, and then when you look at a weekly chart, that $6 resistance really does stand out, and you have the 200-day SMA bearing down on that level as well. That's going to be your first big resistance area is 6, definitely. So I don't know exactly what kind of price action we're going to get or what's going to drive it with enough volume through that, but I think it's pretty undeniable that's this is coming up to 6.
Okay, Retro here says, Ryan, how do you force yourself to hold stocks longer? I had Marvell at 79 and I sold it at 83 for a very little profit. So this is a good question and a hard one to just give a blanket answer to. There are a number of things that go into this. Right off the rip, I would say that the easiest tip that I have to allow me to hold positions is actually kind of a misnomer. It's to scale out of them. So if I use Ondas, for example, I have no trouble holding the remainder of shares that I have, even when the stock goes from 13 to 8, because I've sold so much already on the way. I've already booked those gains. It could go to 0 and I would still be up overall in the trade. I don't think it's going to do that, and I wouldn't let it do that. But that's how I'm able to look past the everyday volatility of it. I've already made some money on it. I've already taken risk off of the table, and it's already worked in my favor. That really helps. The other aspect to this, does the stock pay a dividend? So Starwood, which we've talked about a number of times, I've been adding to this as it trades down. I buy it and I don't even think about it anymore because I know I'm going to get paid to hold it. But we just had Tim Melvin talk about this earlier today. Barry Sternlicht has a 40-year track record. I trust that. It's easier for me to hold this even when the stock moves down. But the other aspect of this is the conviction in the long-term thesis. If you're buying things because other people in chat are telling you to buy them, or because 13 shows you the prettiest chart you ever saw, it might work, but you are likely going to lack that conviction that you need to hold through the bad days. So I think it's a combination of a lot of things in there. I think this is ultimately going to be affected by your risk profile. If you're adverse to risk, you're probably not looking to hold for very long. If you can scale out, maybe you change your risk profile so that it's easier to hold on to that. Let me know if any of that is helpful. And if anyone else has tips for retro, I'd love to hear it.
It's kind of like Inception. You know, we can put an idea in your head, but unless it's your idea, you're not going to truly believe it.
That's a really good analogy.
All right, let's see here. IMVT breaking to new session highs. Coming up to the 3470 area. It's still under 34 right now, but it's coming up to it. We might even get a break above 3470 if we continue with this volume.
And this is a really good tie-in to the question that I was just asked. IMVT. I traded this because of a chart pattern. I traded this because of the fair value gap and the possible support at the 65 EMA that we outlined prior to that. It moved up to the VWAP. I said that's resistance area 1. It's been great. I don't know if it's going to keep going. I'm out. Now, I could look at it now and be like, why didn't I hold that longer? Well, I did not have the conviction, and I did not scale out. I bought a couple hundred shares. I sold a couple hundred shares. So, again, it really comes down to the trade here. Kathy, I love this too. Also develop conviction in a stock by starting a small position and letting the stock prove itself. Add along the way if it does. This is a really good, if you have a thesis on something and it starts to work and it starts to play out the way that you thought, that is going to help you develop more conviction. I have another example of where this worked. Rocket. When we first started talking about the Rocket trade 13, it was down at 12. We talked about interest rates. We watched it trade up. And I said to myself, you know what? This is back when we thought rates were going to get cut. Things are looking good here. The thesis is working. It's easier for me to hold that. And then ultimately I scaled out as we got higher there. So I think all of these tips are really good.
Yep. Joe's. I prefer total recall where ideas are put into your head that you believe originate in your own brain. Now get your ass to Mars.
Jay says, MX, do you guys care that it is Korean? That's ticker MX, the one that you just broke down with the 6 resistance I think we talked about.
Oh, that's not North Korean. It's a joke. I don't think it really matters. I mean, I know that there's going to be some concerns, especially with the just had the what was that? A protest in South Korea at Samsung, or a walkout.
Yeah, it was the strike.
Yeah, strike. That's right.
So now I thought that Jay gave us some updated information there. I actually had an update in the A block here. My update was that the workers were ready to walk off the job after the bonus payment negotiations ended without an agreement. Now, Jay, were you saying that there was an agreement reached shortly after? Because this story was from early this morning. This was from 7 a.m. Eastern time, and it was being written off information that was probably current at 5 a.m. Sorry, really quick. So Jay's saying yes. So since I delivered this update this morning, there's been another update that the strike has been called off. That's good news. Yes. I don't know any other way to put that.
And I'm glad that MDT is working out for you, Canap. I am just, I still have it, and I did add a little bit down here when it was turning around, or putting in a doji earlier this month. But really want to see this get back above 80. 80 is a big support turn resistance level. I want to see this get back above 80. I think once we do, we're back in business.
Yeah, 840 news. Okay, thank you, Jay. Thank you for that. And I appreciate that. Look, guys, market and news, they move fast. And so if there's an update after a piece of news that we cover, yeah, let's update it. That's fabulous. I appreciate you doing that, Jay. Keys looks like that's still trying to break higher, and that's against a market that's kind of rolling over intraday here.
Yeah, things have slowed down, but IMVT continues to climb. It's over 33 now, and still heading up towards the pre-market highs.
What a great fair value gap
that was.
I mean, that's awesome. That's awesome. That indicator has, I mean, I'll tell you what, for building something with just thoughts and AI, that indicator has paid for itself. It's for sure. Whew. I got to tighten these up a little bit and release them as a package.
Are we getting some support here in the market? It seems like some of these are trying
735. We absolutely are.
Okay. All right, and IMVT still climbing, it's sniffing out 34. There's a seller in the way there, though.
Selena, I love this comment. I didn't read it right when you put it in here, but I love this comment too. Tim Melvin somewhere is loving this, clapping his hands like a seal. High quality REITs are great long term, great dividends, buy the dips, start small, and add once the conviction has been established. Absolutely, Selena. Brian, this is an interesting question. Do we think large language models are making people smarter or less smart? So I'm going to be a stickler for the word that you said. I'm going to say overall net less smart, but at the same time, it is making them more efficient, as 13 said. It's also making them more informed, right? Because they're able to gather more relevant recent data and be informed of that data. The problem is that they're relying on this AI tool or their agent swarm to do all of that work. So like, for example, in the position that I'm in, I constantly get people that ask me, Ryan, can you teach me how to use the Benzinga AI tool? Or can you show me how AI can benefit? And when I start to work with these people, I start to realize that they're not sure. They want the tool to do the work for them, but they're not sure how to make the tool do the right thing. And that, to me, kind of goes back to the smart thing. They know how to use a tool that's going to help them discover stuff, and that's great for everybody. But understanding what to ask it in order to get the good information out of it, that's smarts. And I think that the ease of large language models they're kind of lowering the bar for that, Brian. That's how maybe I'm wrong about that. I hope I am. I hope we all get smarter from this. But that would be my gut feeling right now today.
And IMVT just it hit
This thing.
34, got rejected from the seller, but still hanging out up here. Buzik's trying to recapture VWAP. We'll see if that can try and push higher than 468. We still have MWC halted to the downside. Doesn't look like there's a whole lot that's moving at the moment, or at least with any volatility, except look at this, MTVA. What is this doing? This might actually, wow, I see a trend line. See a trend line from yesterday's highs to the pre-market high. That's where we're headed. That trend line.
So what was the? Oh, I think I see it.
Yeah, it looks a little different in my broker, but yeah. So in my broker, the trend line takes us up a little bit over 250. But so it's probably going to be a little bit different in yours, but still we're climbing. And
Where did you connect the points?
I started with the high from yesterday and the high in the pre-market.
Today.
Yes.
So you did something like this.
So that's why it looks a little different. Yeah. So I mean, with yours, it looks like we already broke it. Now we're using it as support.
Got it.
Which is fine too. Just need to see if it holds as support.
This is interesting. Brian says, I know how to work on motorcycles. I decided when I changed my starter, I'd see if ChatGPT could see an unskilled person through it. It was god awful, lol. That's interesting because I've had AI walk me through a bunch of stuff. It wasn't changing a motorcycle starter. But I asked it how to remove my 2 computer modules from my car, because on my car, you can send those out to get them unlocked and then tune the car. And I was wondering what was involved in that. And the steps seemed right on. I've never done it before though. So maybe I should check that. Anyway.
Well, your car doesn't start.
I mean, let's not even joke.
Better call Dr. Banos. Anyway. Bull riding around 7? Nice. I haven't looked at bull in a while.
I'm glad that came up off the 5 handle that it was spending a lot of time in. I know that there are a lot of people that still like this bull thesis here for a catch up to Robinhood. Oh, come on.
Got to get over 760. That looks like or 750. What is it here? Let me zoom in a little bit. 750. That's, yeah, I would say we need to start closing above 750. That's the big spot to get over. It's gone up there several times, been rejected every time since April.
Intel, nice if you caught it over 103. I'm hearing Apple still wants them over TSM. Yes, Jane, I was talking about a tune for the car. Yes. That's like the big horsepower ad on the newer cars, especially the turbo cars.
IMBT now kind of putting in a little bit of red here. It might be finally turning around here, not able to get above 34. Volume's still pretty low. We'll see if it comes in. RKDA, this looks like it's trying to push up to new session highs.
HCWB, is this halted? Yes, HCWB halted to the upside 221. Big volume flow and rip higher. I don't see any news on this either.
Oh, nice, Texas. I'm sorry, Retro Texas. I think NDAC. I mean, this is one that I've got a position in. I'm just going to add to it on pullbacks, and it's just going to be something I hold for a while, a long while.
Does NDAC pay a dividend by chance?
Yes, I believe it does. I'll tell you what that is. Yeah, 1.2%. Little dividend.
Yeah, but still getting paid. Mm-hmm. So that's just kind of, again, going back to our initial question earlier, how do you have conviction to hold things? Getting paid to hold things is like a huge help, right? If they're going to give me money that the market cannot take back from me, I'm going to be more liable to hold that stock.
IMBT, slightly higher prints into the 34 handle. 34.70 is the pre-market high. We're still climbing.
SPY is bouncing here. We're in the second trade window here. This is a huge pump right up to VWAP on the spot. Is there news?
Big RKDA breakout into new session highs, coming up to some sellers at 135 and 140, where we have big resistance. So we'll see if we can chew through that and make some new highs beyond the 141 after hours. I'm sorry, pre-market. Really nice move in RKDA there. And I think that was well timed too, because it seemed like as soon as you said the market was lifting, it was also lifting it, like getting the lift needed.
And you know what? I do see some comments here from Breeden. Data showing slack in the labor market. Bailey said people are staying in jobs rather than moving. I don't know that any of those are causing it though, but that was a big punch there. And my indicator gave me a buy signal, but it gave it late because that punch happened just too quickly. 5-minute trend is bullish. 15-minute trend is choppy. Breadth, by the way, green across the board. SPY, Dow, Qs, Russell, and Nice, all green breadth. And you said oil nasty outside reversal? Yeah, oil lower by 2.6% here. CL still holding on to $100 a barrel on the futures, though.
RKDA is is knocking on the door of the pre-market highs.
Arcadia Bluffs, right, producer? Lol. It's Arcadia Biosciences, just to be clear. Boy, I'll tell you what, this SPY is, we are looking at possible new day highs coming here on the SPY. New highs through 737. What on earth?
Get a lift in several names.
Okay, so here, is this what this is on? Is oil getting pounded? Yeah, this is what I think it is. Okay, so this is coming from Al Hadath. This is an Arabic news source. What I'm about to read you translated directly here from Arabic. Event sources: if the Pakistani army chief does not head to Iran, the achievement of the final agreement formula may be announced within hours.
What?
That's just what it says. If the Pakistani army chief does not head to Iran, the achievement of the final agreement formula may be announced within hours. I think the market is taking that.
I think I understand what that means. Sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, I think what the market is saying here is that if the army chief does not head to Iran, we're expecting a deal.
Yes, that's what I think.
And imminent. And remember, Trump has said very soon. Chris Wright said very soon. I understand not wanting to believe him, the market too, but we're getting more of that. It's not from the Trump administration.
Bull popped up to new session highs.
The next round of negotiations will be held in Islamabad after the Hajj season. Hey, I'm just giving you the fresh headlines as they come out there. Market traded up to 739. I'll tell you what, that buy signal ended up working. Holy smokes. Those zero DTEs went 60 cents. They went from 102 to 185 in a heartbeat. That translation is wrong. You know what? I am relying on the technology to do the translation. I will put it that way. Here, Lion, I will link the actual tweet in here, and I believe X will give you the ability to translate to whatever you want. Here's the tweet itself thrown in the chat there.
So what are we saying here? That the whole market's rallying on a mistranslated text?
That's what Lion is saying. I think the market is rallying on this, but I don't know that it's wrong. Let's put it that way. Lion is French, but apparently he can read Arabic. So a talented individual. Nonetheless, though, good day. God, we only have 11 minutes left. I love it when we have fun, 13.
I mean, it's almost like a riding off into the sunset moment with
riding off into the sunset.
Yeah, because you're about to go on vacation on this fun day. HCWB higher after halt.
You know, I need to get a couple of horse lessons and then actually ride off into the sunset and get a picture of it just so I can have it. That's an aside, though. HCWB, that was the halt earlier. That went higher as it came out of the halt, huh? Okay, let's load here. There it is. Yeah, higher indeed. 250 was the resistance there. Oh, Canap. And I think I've been calling you Canarp for the last few weeks, and I apologize about that. Most French can read Arabic and vice versa. I didn't know that.
That's probably true now.
Selena saying, where did the news come from? Yeah, it came from a tweet. I linked it in the chat. When did you learn Arabic? I did not. Oh, I see what you guys are saying. Okay, I did not. Now I understand why you guys are saying this. I did not translate the tweet. The tweet was automatically translated from Arabic to English, and I read you the English. I cannot read or speak Arabic. I did not mean to imply that. Sorry.
BDAI is kind of flying on some news here. They announced their first deployment of an AI-powered supply chain security platform in Panama's Dry Canal. This thing is taking off.
Yeah, this is taking off. You're right.
It's probably going to run into resistance at 420. There's big sellers in the way there at that level.
God, I'll tell you what, big of bees with the history lesson. French and Arabic has been hand in hand due to Algeria being once a French possession. I'll tell you, you guys are, we got a whole bunch of multilingual people in here. This is awesome.
That probably is kind of the case for Vietnamese too.
CNBC is pumping NVIDIA right now. I see Christina Partsinevelos talking about it, but it seems like she's just talking about it, reporting earnings after the close. NVIDIA butting up to its pre-market high, though. Bitcoin also bouncing with this market bounce. I don't think I mentioned that. And I'm actually getting take profit signals from my indicator on 0 DTEs up here.
IMBT right on the doorstep of that pre-market high. This is an incredible trade. Worked really well.
Sure did. And it is up at resistance here. 34.5 resistance here. Wow.
Yep.
And here's the other thing. So we had the fair value gap formation here on the chart, and that's great. And we definitely look for those, and I definitely try and trade those. It really helps. But the other thing here is that the catalyst, this isn't some BS catalyst. This is their financial earnings. This is their earnings report. So when you have a catalyst like this, you expect that stock will go up, it'll come back down. But if it's a good catalyst, if it's something that the market is rewarding, you would expect it maybe to finish on or near the highs, or higher, maybe I should say. And so when we're talking about like things like some of these little stocks that we get, they have their headlines like we signed an MOU, or we're regaining NASDAQ compliance. It's just it might pop the stock, and it might even give you a trade, and you might even make some money off of that. But the quality of that catalyst just pales in comparison to something like corporate earnings. And so when you get the two things lined up with each other, the catalyst and then a pretty awesome chart formation, you get stuff like this. This has been a great move here. 4-point move in less than an hour from the open. You didn't even need to mess around with racing the earnings. Jeff Bezos was already on CNBC. His interview was done with Andrew Ross Sorkin this morning. It started right at 8 a.m., if I'm not mistaken. You will see clips of that all day if you have CNBC on, I can assure you.
Joe, with regard to AMBA, Ambarella.
Under my umbrella. Oh, sorry.
This looks like it struggles a bit with some of these consolidation areas, these supply zones. So didn't really have so much of a hard time with the one from December of 2024 to February of 2025. But it's kind of struggling with this one that's from August last year to November last year. That whole consolidation area is a big supply area that the price is not able to get through at the moment, but it's coming back up to test it again soon. If we do get through that, let me look at a larger time frame here. If we do get through that, we're gonna want to see what happens at 100. I think that's going to be the next resistance area beyond the 90 resistance. That's on the other side of that consolidation I just mentioned. This is in the semiconductor space, low power system on a chip. I think this could have, this could be a really good theme because, you know, we have this issue of power demand not being able to be met in the United States as it relates to data centers. So more data centers, more robotics that rely on lower power consumption. Certainly something I think that could be really great trade. That's what this looks like it is. I would absolutely keep an eye on this one. If not, look into it some more for a trade. This seems like a really interesting one for meeting that demand for low power chips.
Just a couple of things to clean up here. JD said Bezos said anyone making under 50K shouldn't be taxed. I gotta be honest with you. I totally agree with that. I guess maybe I would need to do some more financial modeling to have a better opinion, but to me that tracks, and that would help the lower part or the lower portion of Americans. I would agree with that. Zach wants to know Netflix is it good below 90?
My whole thing on this is that I still think it goes lower. I'm looking for prints closer to 70. I don't know how long it's going to take to get down there. I really wouldn't feel comfortable making any kind of suggestion or providing a thought about where this goes, except that I think this is heading lower. I don't have a really favorable outlook on this, and I might be in the minority on that. So when it comes to Netflix, I'm probably not the best one to ask about because I think this is heading lower.
I think that makes you one of the best to ask about Netflix. Here's what we got for the chart. Folks, we pre-drew the right shoulder on this chart. We saw this possibly setting up. We talked about the content problem that Netflix has. We drew a hypothetical right shoulder, and look what the stock price did. And so to me, 13, I think you still got some juice in this. I absolutely think this could roll lower.
Yeah, and I think it really did rub a lot of subscribers the wrong way when they they didn't get the Warner Brothers deal, and then they said, well, we're going to dedicate all this money to creating new content. By the way, here's your sub prices jacked up again.
Keyword there. Absolutely, 13. Absolutely.
So, I just think Netflix is starting to get out of favor, and they have a content problem, as Ryan said.
Von Rivera saying Jeff Bezos meant Americans earning 50K a minute shouldn't be taxed. I think you mean a year, under 50K a year, right? 3D comment of the day. No problem. Jeff Bezos can pay my taxes. Yeah, 3D. Sign me up for that. He can do that for me as well. That'd be awesome. You wouldn't even miss it.
IMBT knocking on the door of the pre-market highs. It's almost there. I think let's see, we're 2 cents away from that level. Well, it was, but right on the doorstep of 34.70.
Great trade here today. Great trade, great formation, good catalyst. Had it outlined prior to the open. Bang, bang, bang.
AMPG is making new session highs. It hasn't broken above the pre-market highs, which is 488, but it is putting in new session highs right now.
We're out of time here, but I'm going to close with this. Big B is saying it's okay to be wrong, just don't stay wrong. Remember, Big B's bearish on keys earlier today, told us live, changed his mind. This is now up 75%. Big B's, well done, well done. And you're absolutely right. You can be wrong. You just can't stay wrong. You just can't stay wrong. 13, any closing words for the group before we move over to story trading?
Well, I think this is it. We're off until after Memorial Day, right?
Correct. Thursday of next week.
Folks, enjoy your Memorial Day weekend holiday, and thank a veteran.
Please.
And hope everybody has a safe and happy holiday. Make sure that you all take care of yourselves, and I will see you next week when we get back. Until then, stay green. Goodbye, everybody.
So real good stuff. Just to kind of remind you and recap with the schedule here, 13, thanks very much. Awesome stuff. We are going to be off. Our show is going to be off here for the next 5 trading days. I guess 4 trading days because Memorial Day is not a trading day. We will return Thursday, May 28th. We will return rested, relaxed, probably a bit more tan too. We'll see. But we will be back then. We will be playing some replay content. I appreciate all of your folks' patience as we've had to change things around here. We don't have as much flexibility, but we still need to do time off. And our team decided that we would do it together to minimize the total amount of time that we would be off air. So appreciate that. We will be back. Stay green. And for any of you that want to keep trading, I highly advise Benzinga Pro. There's multiple chat rooms in there, including the happy hour chat room. Our happy hour traders absolutely check the chat room from their vacation. We're addicted degens. That's just how it goes. But folks, we will be off here. So we'll see you. Have a good one. It is time now for story trading. Let me bring on Ben and Rhett and see how they're doing. Gentlemen, how are you?
What's up? Very, very interesting day today. A ton of volatility, man. Did it ever happen to you, Ryan, where you have the exact right macro timing when the markets are going to bottom, when they're going to rocket, but then you just choose the wrong vehicle? So happens all that. Like we nailed the bottom, the top in IWM Friday. We're shorting it for 3 days in a row. We nailed the bottom yesterday, and then we're like, you know what? Let's go long. We're bullish the AI infrastructure and bullish Soxel, but instead of going long Soxel, I'm like, I want to get more beta. So what I do, I went long AOI yesterday, which for some reason is just not reacting with Soxel. And then this morning, Micron had news. And I'm like, okay, let me add Micron. So instead of being long Soxel, I'm long AOI and Micron and get my ass handed to me. So crazy, right? With like perfect analysis and timing of the macro.
It's what makes our job hard. Not only do you have to predict future events, but you have to choose the right vehicle in which to capture those. Do you want to share your screen here? Oh,
it's not shared yet. And the other thing happening right now in real time here is IWM and oil. Take a look at this. So IWM surging towards the 20 DMA. And I have to think this is happening because the market thinks there's an imminent deal coming with Iran. I think what happened here is rates got way too high, and that was their thesis for why IWM was going down. Rates were going through the roof, and you can kind of see that with TLT was absolutely, imploding here the last few days. Look at TLT this morning, exploding at the same time. The oil's coming down, and that's saying IWM up. The only logic behind this is the market really thinks a Trump-Iran deal is imminent. Trump was kind of indicating that, like really desperate last night in terms of the deals coming. I think the market finally feels a deal is finally coming, and that's why you're seeing this crazy rally in IWM right now.
Yeah,
so I think get that out of the way before you leave, Ryan.
I think you're exactly right. I just want to, before I sign off here, I want to amplify something. First of all, gentlemen, I hope you have a wonderful Memorial Day as well. But I would like to amplify something that 13 said. Please thank a veteran for their service on this Memorial Day. Ben and Rhett, take it away. Have a great show.
Great.
Appreciate it. Thanks, Ryan.
Thanks, you, Ryan. I heard on the previous show there, they were talking about keys. Someone had a negative thesis. I don't know why, but then they flipped green. Good for whoever that person was. I bought keys call options at the open. Well, couldn't do it at the open because the call options market didn't open until 9:33 a.m. You can see that's when the common volume was waiting for the options market to open. So I bought call options at the open on an awesome earnings report. I was not dissuaded by the negative price action going into it. You know what we do at story trading. The catalyst is more important to us than the technicals. We predict the technicals based on the catalyst and the impact of the catalyst on fundamentals and sentiment. So that's what we did there. Keys turning out to be the best play of the day right now. I called out options here. It was the 340 options. I bought that at $15.80 on live stream. Sold half of them at $22.50. The other half holding them now. They're about $25. So that's working out. But as I told Ryan, having a tough time capturing the upside in Soxel because I just picked the wrong vehicles. And, I got, I cut my losses a little bit on Micron and AOI, but I went back in right when I saw the market pumping and Soxel kept on surging. I'm like, all right, they got to surely go up now. They got to catch up. It's just not working.
I don't know. I'm going to have to cut this here pretty soon because I ended up doubling down too, but I was on the wrong side of the trade today. Literally seconds before they said those comments about the war ending, I got into puts because looked like the Qs were flushing down and just a matter of seconds.
I mean, it really hurts, but I don't know, man. I don't know if I'm going to. It's hard to sell all the Micron because, my base case that I put out Monday morning is that we were going to have weakness in QQQ and Soxel or the semiconductor index leading up into NVIDIA, and then we explode after NVIDIA based on good guidance. That was my base case, and that base case is playing out, and it just sucks that I chose the wrong vehicle, and it hurts me to be like, am I going to sell Micron for a loss now or AI for a loss now, and then the whole sector – my crystal ball comes true. All right. And we have this new surge in the AI infrastructure space. And then I don't have exposure because I chose the wrong vehicles here today on AOI and Micron. So it's hard for me to cut these. Yeah. I had a couple small trades in Soxel yesterday and today, but the bulk of my position here is AOI and Micron. So I'm like pissed off that I got the right call and the wrong vehicle here. Very annoying. So that's that. Gave a 279 target on IWM. In fact, I think I said this morning, right on the morning show, I think I mentioned 279 IWM coming if there's a deal with Iran. You gotta find that. I'm pretty sure I said it in the morning show. So that's why we stopped shorting IWM yesterday after it hit our 270 to 271 target on the money. All right, my official account was up about 1.5% yesterday. Should have been up much more if not for a huge loss that I took on TE, which I shouldn't have because look, TE's up 25% today. But I still have the TE in my short-term account that I alerted 2 days ago in like the 650s. I'm still holding the whole position, but the short-term account, I just don't tolerate losses. I just get out, and I got out yesterday, sadly. Anyway, that's a mouthful. Right, what's on your mind? Is anyone else joining us from Story Trading this morning?
I think it's just me and you. I mean, I can ask Dougie really quick if he wants to hop on.
Laptop's away?
Yeah, laptop's away.
Right. And then we may be getting the Godfather back soon, guys, so stay tuned for that. His back from his sabbatical and starting to get more active in our community again. So maybe we'll get him back on the Benzinga show at some point in the near future.
Yep.
So, wow. And this is up another 10%. I took a trade on this yesterday. It was a nice trade, but I just did not hold overnight here.
Did you add any bull under 7 or no?
I have a lot. Did I add more yesterday? I think I bought common shares yesterday. Let me see. Oh no, I never added more bull yet. I'm only in the options. I really want to get more bull exposure before their earnings tomorrow, and I haven't done it yet. I'm only in June 12th, 650 calls. And the reason I don't have more exposure is because I was a little traumatized by Robinhood earnings, right?
Yeah.
But I still very much like my thesis, and I still think that bull and hood are going two different trajectories here, and that bull will have a very nice report. That's why I have my 2.8% position in the call options. But I have to see. They report tomorrow afternoon. I'll probably get some more. I'll probably get some shorter term exposure and or a 5 to 10% common share position, maybe into the report there on Webull. So that's that. Let's see. Look at TLT surging. And keys. Come on, keys. Kept half of the options on keys. I want to see that improve there for us. Unbelievable with TE. Maybe we can get a little scalp out of Watt here. Hold on. I got a little trade but right before the show at 23.67. It's now 24. 24. No, wait, what was my entry price? Let me just check this here. I love trading Watt. Oh, I just like it. It's fun for me. It's been working out. So let me see what price I got filled at. 24.18. Not bad. Not bad. Let's check 30-minute, 1 hour, daily. Ooh, this is good. I think I'm okay. Ooh, Watt setting up nice, right? Look at that. After a beautiful earnings report, look at that RSI curling back up. Didn't quite get to the 50. You can call that at this point a successful bounce off that support. Watt is looking good. I could see this thing moving to 25.50 to 27.50 over the next couple of days. Might be dependent on Nvidia pumping the market tomorrow, so I'm not sure I want to take that overnight risk. Might just intraday trade it here, sell the other 1,000 shares in a bit, but I have a big position in my long-term account that I'm not selling anytime soon. Wow, look at this TE broker 850 target today. So yeah, we didn't hold through this, but we were trading it this morning in the Discord with an 850 target. Now blew through that 850 target. Where's this going next?
Oh, I'm looking to see.
Big short position.
FOMO.
Really big short position.
TE, let's see. This thing can really rock. Probably 9.
9. Let's look at the daily. Big short position. Geez, I can't believe that.
I mean, if you want to get more technical, I mean like 9.30.
All right, I'll keep a little bit. I got back in after I broke 850, small size. Just small scalps over here after the disaster yesterday. All right, let's see. Micron finally curling up. I really need that to come back. I got a big Micron position.
Yeah, that and AOI.
And AOI, although I sold half of the AOI. I did sell half the Micron, but then I got back in, as I was saying earlier. Look at this TE. We just got to throw that at the top of the list, man. TE keys, IWM with a 279 target. Pretty much almost hit it. 279.28. Might curl back and hit that 279.28 here. As long as oil's still heading down. Let's see. Let me actually, TLT is more important. Let's see TLT.
Yeah, yeah, Jay Rice has been. That kid picked it up. He's been on fire, so we'll see.
Who? What?
Leopold.
Oh yeah. This was a top 2026 pick for me. In the list we put out end of December, but then it did like nothing for a while, so I sold it and moved on to hotter sectors and hotter names. But then when Leopold got back in, I'm like, I already knew the company. It was already a top pick, so I jumped in it. Just misplayed it yesterday. But anyway, I kept the full position, like I said, in the long-term account. See an alert for BZAI. BZAI daily chart just coming off of oversold. Nothing special. There's a lot of that going on right now, though. Especially with this IWM pulling up these small caps. Let's see what else we got here. Redwire. I got a big position in Redwire. Let's go walk closely. Redwire 1 + 1 = 3. Yesterday, high 8-figure multi-year contract Today, additional news, which Webull doesn't have, so we got to go to Benzinga Pro, which has pretty much everything. So we go Benzinga Pro over here, and we see Redwire won 15 million follow-on order from U.S. Army's 1st Aviation Brigade, Aviation Center of Excellence for Stalker Uncrewed Aerial Systems. So 2 days in a row, large contracts, 1 + 1 = 3, which means you can no longer just look at the quantitative impact and do a fundamental analysis on these 2 deals. You will get a sentiment premium in the short term, and that's why we loaded the boat on Redwire. And unlike yesterday, I decided I'm not going to get shaken out, and I did not get shaken out. Yesterday, I got shaken out Redwire on the morning dip. Today, I said I'm not falling for it today. So I'm still in Redwire. Now I'm up on it from a $14 entry. Pretty big size, so that's working out right now. What's our target on Redwire? We gave out targets this morning on Redwire. What do we say?
So Redwire was 1446. I know that was the first target.
And it hit the first target, but I didn't.
Followed by 1520 your second.
Yeah, I didn't have a limit order. I was distracted trying to buy keys call options at the open, so I didn't have a chance to hit the sell button at their first target this morning. So hopefully we'll have another chance at 1446.
Maybe keys will also curl back up and hit our 355 target today.
Oh, we had 355 on it today?
Yep.
Okay, yeah, that'll be nice. That'll be beautiful. Look at TE going to that. What do you have? What was your target on TE?
9 to 930 is the target.
Are you still in it?
No, I sold when you guys sold when we hit the 850. So
I bought it back higher. I think I'm gonna take a scalp one right now. My last entry was 861. At this point, look at these big bids coming in. This is a short squeeze at this point. But anyway, I'm taking the profit here. 861 to 883. I'll look for re-entry. Again, I'm holding my long-term position. My trades are in a different account, so this is just my trading, my day trades and some swing trades. So that's that. Redwire. What? Still have half of my shares. Ooh, it looks good. I think I might wait for more today. 24.53, 25.53. I think I might wait for the 25s on this one before selling the other half. Man.
Someone's saying UMAC is a ripper. Is he?
Oh, is it? Which makes me reminds me about AVEX. 1 second. Oh, and I freaking lost. I did
Wow. Nice.
I did puke out MP at the open after buying in pre-market, so that sucked. All right, let's check out UMAC. UMAC has had a lot of good news recently, and wow, a little catch-up trade after being punished just because. Oh, I did not see UMAC bounce off the 200 yesterday. Lost opportunity there, guys, after a series of really good catalysts and good earnings report out of UMAC. It's finally catching up, being artificially depressed here by the market and the IWM sending UMAC down. And now it's like you're pushing down a balloon underwater, a ball underwater. Balloon, I don't know, probably pop, but you know what I mean. Pushing out a ball underwater. That's what's happening here, because there must have been a lot of buying demand here, but the algos just sold because of IWM. And now it's bouncing back up. Man, I did not notice it bounced off the 200 DMA yesterday, but I own this in pretty decent size in the long-term account, and I added more. I think I alerted it too in the Discord that I was adding more to UMAC after that earnings report. I think I did. Don't hold me to that, but I've definitely talked about how good that earnings report was.
Someone's asking about CRWD.
CrowdStrike?
CrowdStrike.
Don't know anything about that today. Whoa, what the hell's... I have not looked at this chart in a while. I have no idea. Wow. I don't know what this is about. Do you know what's been going on here? I have no idea.
I'm just looking at this now. I haven't been following.
I have not looked at the chart. I don't know what's going on. I totally missed this. Have not pulled up this chart in weeks. Holy crap, where have I been? Upgrades from everyone here. Morgan Stanley and Cantor Fitzgerald and Stifel today. Lots of upgrades. Why today? What happened? CrowdStrike expands in Germany. SVA strikes strategic partnership to deliver AI native security German organizations. That was early this morning. Strikes. Okay, let's go to a Benzinga article. I'll figure this out. That our Benzinga Pro hits all-time highs. What's driving the moves here? Fresh bullish analyst commentary. KeyBank raises upside potential by demand for Mythos. I think it's about this. I heard a lot about this. Frontier analysts cited tailwinds from areas like CTM. But CrowdStrike's recent run has been fueled by channel check optimism, including BTIG's work with 10 industry contacts tied to roughly $700 million annual CrowdStrike sales, which helped drive a 621 target. So I guess the analysts are seeing a lot of things here. Is it Mythos or Mythos? How do you say this? This is what I've been seeing in the news. This is, I think, the crux of it. CrowdStrike also has a regulatory tailwind angle in the background as AI-driven cyber risk moves up the agenda, with Anthropic agreeing to brief finance ministries and central banks and an FSB report on AI adoption due next month. That matters for CrowdStrike because Mythos has been released to about 40 organizations, including CrowdStrike, and has flagged thousands of high-severity vulnerabilities across major operating systems and browsers. So I guess Anthropic released some software that exposed security flaws, right? Which means you need CrowdStrike to deal with that risk. I think that's what's going on here. For whoever asked, that's where I dig into first. I get dig into the catalyst, not the chart. I look at the chart last. Look at the catalyst first. So that's what's been driving this. Looks like I'm a little late to the party. I mean, I like to be early. I don't chase moves like this. I like to be early. I'm usually first to the party and one of the first to leave after it gets found by the crowd. That's my MO.
Looks like Hive had news. HIVE. Look at this right now.
They had multiple. They had a lot of news early this week. Do they have news again?
No, just now. It looks like.
What's the news now? I don't see it yet on Benzinga. Tuesday, May 19th. I don't see it yet. But Hive had Leopold, I think, picked it up. Plus, they had announced a subsidiary building a 320 megawatt AI gigafactory in Ontario, Canada. Those are the two news items on Monday morning. Wow. Man, it is feast or famine out there. You got to be in the right stocks, not in frickin' MU today. Unless it did a turnaround, please. Let's see. Where's my MU? I'm definitely not in the right things today. Where's MU? Where I lost it? What the hell? Oh, there we go. Bouncing a little bit. And not in MU and AOI. I'm actually pretty shocked. Look at AOI still dropping. I'm pretty shocked. AOI has been like the way to get beta on Soxel, man. Like Sox, semiconductor index up a couple percent. You see AOI up like 10, 15%. Like, it's not working this time. Sucks.
Yeah, especially with everything just exploding right now. That's what's really the crappy part.
Yeah.
Trying to get back these gains, but it just keeps slipping.
Did I re-enter TE? I don't think I did. No, my last transaction was selling TE at
almost an 8.9.
Yeah, I sold it 84. Oh, I can buy it back lower by 4 or 5 cents. I don't know. Look, it's riding up to 20. It'd be cool if it went to the 50. It'd be nice if it went to 850. Ooh, that's a great support now, 850. It'd be nice if you can get it below 860. I don't know if we'll get that chance. I think I'll wait, see if we can get it back in below 860. But this is a big short position, so I don't know. Let's see. Can't believe I barfed out MP at the open there. Let's put Redwire. I'm still in a big position in Redwire and Keys. So Redwire and Keys, we need that to go. I need Micron to get above the VWAP there. And AOI looks like a lost cause today, Jess. I don't know.
Yeah, you know what chart's starting to look good, trying to break out here is ASTS. It's my largest position in my retirement account. I mean, it's been for a while, but I just increased a little bit ago. So those ads have been paying off.
Look at that. It's been straight up since the earnings report. Wow, from 66 to 91.
Yep.
Yeah, I missed this in the short-term account, but like you, I have a big position. Not that big, not like you, but I have a probably a 5% allocation, which is big for me in my retirement
Times that
account.
by 6 for me.
Oh, what is it?
Times that by 6.
Oh, you're 30%. Okay, I'm at 5% or so.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm just gonna hold that, and hopefully that'll be like a 5-bagger over the next 12 to 18 months. I think it can be.
You know what I just realized? I never sold in my retirement account.
What?
My hedge I bought a few days ago. TZA.
Oops.
Uh-oh.
Oops.
Shoot.
Ooh, look at Bull. I still have not freaking bought the extra exposure I want for earnings. Someone give me an idea here. What do I do? Do I buy call options for this week? Do I buy common shares? Give me I want more exposure into earnings other than, because my exposure now is not really an earnings play. It's June 12th. Like Sam from our community helped us. He chose a June 12th contract because the pattern day trading rule expires in the first week of June. So we're expecting good announcements from Bull. Who knows? Maybe even some early positive metrics that they'll share. So we wanted to capture that. That's why we want June 12th. But I also think the earnings are going to be great based on commentary from the Robinhood call and the early August numbers. So I want some bull exposure for earnings tomorrow afternoon. I don't have it. So, Rhett, what do you think? How do I get? Should I add or just stick with my June 12th?
I'd probably June 12th. Probably leave those, to be honest. That exposure and add to them.
I just have some FOMO because I want to be able to flip tomorrow afternoon after they have a good report. And
you want to do that? Go to like a 5% in common share.
That's what I'm thinking. But should I didn't buy it yet. Like, should I just get it now because the market's pumping, or wait till tomorrow afternoon?
I'd wait. Maybe you'll see a pullback in this. But
all right.
Because also the market may get pulled up by Nvidia or pulled down. So I don't know. We shall see.
All right, let's watch that TE, see if it makes it towards 850. Currently not in, looking for a reentry. Man, Key's pulling back. Where are those call options at? They're 21 by 2260. I sold half at 2250. I also have common shares. I think I'm gonna have a little patience with this. I could see this. Maybe it takes Nvidia. I don't know. Maybe it takes Nvidia for Keys to go above the 20 DMA.
Yeah.
Red wire looking good. That might be it in TE. I don't think it's going lower. I'm stepping back in for the next leg up here. If I'm wrong, so be it.
It's right there. It's been riding up the 20s, so I mean that would be a good spot.
I had this little wick below the 20. Someone bought it. I might be wrong. Whatever. I step back in here. I'm gonna hold it though. For if it breaks below 850 is your support. I might even add a little. I might even double up in the 850s if this breaks. So all right, let's see about that. Can't believe UMAC bounced off the 200 and I wasn't there yesterday to capture it. And I can't believe I puked out MP for a loss and now it's pumping. Damn it. Same freaking thing I did yesterday with Redwire and TE happened on MP this morning. This happens a lot, man. Happens a lot. What's that?
There goes MU starting to go up there. 721.
All right, good. All right, let me see what my average is. I'm definitely down big on this piece of shit today. Let's see. Oh man, I am down a crap ton on this thing. I need. Let's see. Man, my average is high. Oh my god. I probably need. Oh man, I guess I didn't do a good job of averaging down. My average is up here at like 735. I'm at 735. I'm not gonna try to make money on it. I just want to lose less on it. So a nice pop here. I might take some off the table. I'm gonna take some off the table right here because I bought some on a little bit on the dip. I guess not enough. Jeez, these. All right.
Tell you what, this chart on AOI is just extremely ugly.
Yeah, let me check the other photonics companies.
Light.
You know what? I have to wonder if how much of this was driven by Serenity. Because that account, I don't know if it's a he or she or what's going on there, but that account has made a shift in what it talks about lately. Maybe I'm missing the post. I don't look at it religiously. I just recently kind of peripherally been watching this account. But in the last week or so, I feel like most of the posts are either about humanoid robots and rare earths this morning and SI and Sivers, like nonstop. And I think this person's also short bought, right? Which I get because of the $7 NAV. So like repeated posts on why is bot so high? It shouldn't be high. The NAV is 7. And repeated posts on Sivers. But I haven't heard much about all those other AI names, including AOI. I wonder
he's
if
sold Light and all that apparently.
What?
He sold Light, Leopold.
Not Leopold. Serenity.
No, hold on.
I'm talking about Serenity.
No, I think Leopold.
I know. I'm not talking about Leopold. I'm talking about Serenity.
Yeah, I know. I'm just saying. Serenity, yeah. I'm looking at that too.
I mean, Serenity's been moving this entire photonics trade. So I don't know if there's been could have been, and this person is moving markets like crazy, like multi-billion, like at tens of billions of dollar market cap companies. This account moves. It's crazy.
Well, the flow that comes in as soon as he posts is outrageous.
It's I've never seen anything like it. Never. Yeah. So I don't know. Maybe this there's been a sector rotation out of photonics into humanoid robotics and rare earths and Sivers. I don't know. Maybe that's partly explains the weakness in AOI today. I'm not sure. Look at this volume candle and keys here, 27,000. One of the bigger ones of the day. Still in that. Come on, AOI. TE, did it make it to 350? No, 850? No, 864. AVEX has earnings tonight. I'll be carrying a small position into the earnings report for AVEX tonight.
Yeah, not much. I kind of got caught off guard today. On a good day.
Oil still coming down. IWM still going up. 279 target. Oh, it's about to hit it. 279.32. Dude, this price action strongly suggestive that a deal is imminent with Iran. That's what I think. Or at least the market thinks it's imminent. Yeah, market thinks a deal with Iran is imminent. Getting this big push in IWM. Rates coming down, bonds going up, oil coming down. Look at TLT. Look at that. That's a smart money. Someone told, Trump told someone. I don't know. I think maybe it's more than just the tweets. Maybe Trump told someone. This is big money. This is smart money, man. Loading up bonds. Rates are dropping. Oil's dropping. IWM surging to the 20 DMA. All right. Well, And when I closed the IWM short right at the low of the day after like shorting for 3 days in a row, that was we should have just gone long IWM there.
Yeah, we should have.
Hit the target. Hit the target. Oh my God, AOI is getting destroyed. What am I going to throw in the towel on this? I think I'm going to throw in the towel on AOI. This is disgusting.
Yeah, sneaky robotics play. SYNA.
I'm probably gonna end up selling this at the lows, but I can't tolerate this anymore. If in my long-term account, I'm keeping it. Short-term account, I can't. I just can't tolerate. I can't accept this kind of loss. I got to get out. I'm out of AOY, motherfricker.
Yeah, if I sell now, you don't want to know how much I'm going to be down.
Oh my gosh. What a piece of shit today. Should have just stuck with Soxel as our top pick.
Yeah.
We were debating it, right? Did
Yeah.
I think we did make Soxel over AOY, didn't we?
No, AOY was over it.
Oh, we changed it? At one point, we're like, let's go with Soxel because it's just safer. Right? Didn't we have that debate like at 9:15 a.m.?
We did, yeah.
And then we chose AOY over Soxel because we wanted that extra beta.
Yep.
Oh, well. Motherfricker. You're so close. Chose the freaking wrong vehicle.
Far away.
It was the wrong vehicle, man. Anyway, we had great analysis at least there.
And it hit our target too of 170 to 172. That's the crappy part.
Oh, it did?
Yeah, it hit 170.85 and we did nothing.
What do you mean 170.85? And pre-market is 178.
For Soxel?
Oh, you're not Soxel hit the target.
Yeah. I'm saying Soxel.
Oh, Soxel up and to the right, hit the target. Yeah, I know. Yeah. Man, I got too cute trying to trade an individual name on money flow. Jeez Louise. I just wanted that extra beta. That sucks. Mew's not helping. Oh, now Keys is pulling back. What am I gonna do with Keys? I don't know. Keys is getting tired. I may have to preserve my profits and get out of this one soon. How do you like those Keys calls I picked up though?
Those were amazing. Should have followed. Bought on the dip. Held your conviction.
Yeah, but now this price action is just way too sleepy for me. Thinking of closing it out soon. T curling back up after I didn't add more. I was looking for 850. He's got to 862. Off the 50 at the 20 now. See what else we got here. Red wire, all right, still loaded in that full position, curling nicely. Beautiful. Should look at the 30-minute chart here. Yesterday, 2 candles down, then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 candles straight up. Today, 1 candle down, and so far 3 candles up. 1 + 1 = 3. Let's see if we can break yesterday's high. Yes. Oh, we did break yesterday's high. What? Oh, but we're back below it now. Okay, let's see if we can back to it. Look at Soxel curling at high of day. Did I capitulate on Micron live on this show yet? Did I do that? No, I sold half. Okay. Still have another half in case it wakes up.
Yeah, look at Soxel.
Look at Soxel. Jeez, we should have just stuck with Soxel. We freaking bought Soxel calls at the low yesterday. Right off this 20 DMA bounce, but we didn't hold it overnight. How's Walt?
I thought Soxel calls would be way higher than what they are.
I don't even want to look. Should I look the ones we bought yesterday?
No,
and then Yosef in our community is like, "Why are you selling Soxel here? If your thesis is we're gonna pump into NVIDIA ER," and then Sam and I are like, because it was the red day and we're green. We're grateful to be green. We want to lock it in. That's what we said. Let me see. Let's see. Let's look at which options we got. This will be fun. Yesterday. Did I buy it in the wrong account? I don't see here. What? Where is it? Soxel orders past 30 days.
Oh, I have them right here. They are
Yeah, what was our entry? Because I'm having a hard time pulling it up right now for some reason.
Here, hold on. Give me a second. It's loading. Entry was... Why can't I see this?
Yeah,
Oh, it's right here. So the Soxel, the 150.
we got the 150s yesterday.
I think we bought the 150s. Yeah, 150s at 990.
Yeah, 990. That sounds familiar. And then I think
we sold at 1365.
Exactly. Yeah. All right.
What are they at now?
Let's see. 23.
Oh shit.
$10.
Oh man.
Anyway.
What do we think of BE here? I mean, I think it's pretty high up here now.
Oh, bull pullback.
I mean, it did pull back. I mean, it could continue to run. Maybe go challenge new highs, but
sorry, I'll get to BE in a second. Is this where I want to get my 5% position? I don't know a lot about BE, Bloom Energy. Is this one of the ones I own in the long term? I don't think it is. Yeah, I don't really have an opinion on it I'm not close enough to the situation to understand all the factors that may be causing this pop up. I mean, it could simply be the IWM pumping for the Qs that are causing it back above the 20. So I don't have too much insight tree on that. All right, you know what? I'm gonna go for it. I'm getting my bull common share position here. Maybe I can trade around the core a little bit between today and tomorrow afternoon. Maybe generate some profits before the report. All right, here we go. Bull 708, buy at market. All right, done. I got my bull common share. Please tell me it's in the right account. I keep buying shit in the wrong account lately. So annoying. Okay, good. Got it in the right account. All right. Got those bull commons. Look at Soxel still looking great. Ooh. I don't know. I don't know. The AVEX I bought. Ooh. I think I'm gonna sell this pop here. Thing is, I wanted to carry some into the earnings report, but I can't resist taking a little scalp. AVEX 25. Let me see. All right, 25.78. All right, now I'm out of AVEX, but I guess I'll get back in before 4 p.m. Because I think this one hit 30 in after hours tonight. After the report. Okay, TE actually now looking a little bit toppy, pulling below the 50. Is 850 going to hold here now, Rhett? Below the moving average, or does it make it all the way to VWAP? Around 830.
5 minute looks like you can pull down a little more, probably in the 850s, I would say.
Yeah. 850 that was previous resistance. Our target was 850, right? If you recall for the day.
Yep.
From the daily candles. So broke the 850 target and resistance, and that's now support, you could say. But I don't know, like I've had such bad afternoons recently looking for secondary runs exactly in this kind of setup, right? Breaks resistance, I think support's gonna hold, and then it doesn't, and the money was just the easy money in the first 2 hours of the day. That's been happening a lot lately to me.
Yeah, I mean, look, you made money today on it. Might as well.
I know, but I'm like so upset about the money I lost yesterday that I'm like, I want to make it back.
Now you can't think like that. Then you're going to get back more.
I know. Any other comments or questions?
Oh yeah, someone's asking about FJet, and then
Oh yeah, FJet had news this morning. I have it on my catalyst list here. There it is. I don't know FJet well. I mean, we got SpaceX news. Actually, speaking of, let me pull up the space list. All right, so I have SATS right at the top because I think that's the best proxy for the SpaceX IPO. the best risk reward. We got the NASA ETF, which I'm in. Okay, we got ASTS, which, wow, has just been on fire. I mean, FJET, to me, I've never done the research on it. To me, it's let's call it a shitco, one of the lower quality names. So unless there's an expert in FJET in our community who can tell us more about this and tell us why it's not a shitco, to me, based on the market cap on the chart, I just kind of classify it as shitco, and I'd rather play the space sector with, at least in the trade account. Oh wait, we're at 850. At least in the trade account, I'm only in SATs, and in the long term, I'm also in NASA ETF and ASTS. 850's failing here. What do we do? Are we gonna try it?
I'm just gonna avoid it.
You're gonna avoid it. All right. I'm a little more adventurous than you. I missed it. 855. I wanted 850. Crap. All right. I got a little bit at 855. I should have put a limit order. Went right to that support. Prior. I can't help but to do. I know it hasn't worked a lot lately in the afternoons, but that's just like textbook. Prior resistance, now support. Like I feel like I have to try it. Guess I should have had a limit order. I lost 5 cents by not having a limit. Anyway, all right, that's TE. Red wire. Keys, come on, keys. Oh, look at Soxel. Come on, drag up that MU. Yes, baby. How about? Oh, what happened? Is there a deal? IWM hit the 279 target. There could be a deal here.
Yeah.
Iran deal. Yeah, we got an Iran
Bitcoin
deal.
is flying. Look at Bitcoin, guys. Holy moly.
We may have an Iran deal. That's what we got to look at USOs. USO crashing. I'm tempted to get back in freaking AOI again, even though it's been, I don't know, probably a bad move, but I just did it. Look at Redwire.
To get out.
Did USO crash? Yep. I've been saying this all morning. It looks like there's a deal. This is highly indicative of a deal that was just announced. Someone tell me in the news. Did we have a deal? We must, because now IWM's above.
Trump final stage of talks with Iran.
There you go. Okay, so he is pumping the market. He knows exactly what he's doing. Rates went up too much. IWM crashed too much. And now he is pumping the market like crazy. You said Bitcoin's up?
Yeah, look at Bitcoin.
Okay, so that might be good for Weeble. Yeah, look at that. So it's like buy everything at the moment, maybe. Wow, dude, you got to get that clip. I'm pretty sure I said 279 target on IWM. I said this in pre-market if there's a deal with Iran. Crap, I didn't act on it though.
IWM is insane today.
What was that?
IWM is insane today.
Yeah, I know. I did mention that's a bigger beneficiary than Soxel on this Iran news here, for obvious reasons. Look at UMAC and MP back to my freaking entry almost. I took a loss on earlier. SAT's moving up, even air moving up. Everything's going up. Little disappointing action in bull, to be honest with you. I thought we'd see a bigger pop there. Little disappointing action in Redwire compared to what we're seeing in IWM. Wow. IWM, let's put our small caps up there. Bull and Redwire and TE, AVEX. Keys a little pop. Watt, not much out of Watt yet. Hive popping on that.
What was your average from you?
You don't want to know. I mean, at this point, it's, I don't know, like 735 or something.
I like Brian's comment.
What's that?
I like Brian's comment. He said this market would pump if the negotiator farted.
So, wow. That's unbelievable. They like coming in exactly. We were talking about with Dougie this morning that they know exactly where all the technicals are, where the key levels are, and and they know when to act to prevent it from getting worse. I mean, it's absolutely crazy what this administration is able to do. Looking at those rates, recognizing the impact it's having on IWM, and making that geopolitical decision that we got to, pivot here to get rates lower, to get the market moving. I mean, it's just incredible how they manage the economy. I don't know if I'm not saying incredible in a good way. I'm just saying in a objectively, rare. It's a rare type of thing that they're doing. I mean,
Oh yeah.
It's really interesting how attuned they are to the minutia of the numbers in the market. And the stock market is just unbelievable. So, I mean, Micron. Yeah, see, I keep getting.
Jay Rice. I don't know about that one, Jay Rice.
What?
He's saying Trump trades more than you, Ben.
No, I don't think he does. That disclosure that came out, which, by the way, I don't know. Like, was it really his or not? Everyone was confused about whether that was legitimate. But let's assume it was a legitimate disclosure that was going around on X. I'm sure he doesn't hit the buttons himself. He has someone managing it for him and probably even making those decisions for the most part with a little consultation.
Look at Dram. Dram's finally going.
Well, that's good.
Talking
for
about
him,
that one too.
Well, we went to green signal just in the nick of time. 3 days yellow alert, nailed it. Shifted to green this morning, but I just chose the wrong vehicles, man. Freaking AOI! I can't believe AOI is down 2.5% in this market. I can't believe it. This was my biggest play today, to try to capture the upside. I just thought, if the market hasn't moved like this, I thought AOI was going to be up 10 to 15% today.
Yeah. This one guy is now short NQ. He's trading with futures. I don't know.
NQ?
NQ. Pretty much the Qs. That's pretty much.
Oh, that's the Qs? I don't trade futures. I don't. NQ, yeah. I see it up here. Shorting the Qs? Yeah. Could work like intraday, but I mean, to make that bet, if that's like a bet of NVIDIA earnings bet, I wouldn't do that.
No. That'll be that more than likely is just a little scalp trade.
That's just a scalp trade.
Yeah.
Look at this. AOI is just a disaster.
Yeah,
Every time I think like it's got to catch up, it's got to turn around. I'm like, let me get back in. Like every single time, AOI has failed on me today.
Now someone else is long NQ looking for 29,487. Interesting. I'm not trying to do too much other than try to exit out of these positions because I don't want to dig myself into a deeper hole today.
That's what someone said?
No. That's what I'm
you're
saying.
Oh. Yeah, I mean, really my biggest issue still is AOI and MU. At some point, I feel like I should just sell all of it and just pivot somewhere else. The art of the pivot, you know how many times that saved me intraday? Just recognize something's not working and I go somewhere else. I may have to do that, man. It defies logic, though. It's just so hard for me to come to terms with the fact that we're not seeing a 10% move in AOI today. It's shocking to me. Really shocking. That's crazy. I also thought MU would have a better move today. I had a 750 target on an MU today. I had a sell order at 749. Didn't happen. Yeah, right. What do you think? Should I finally sell all the AOI and MU and lock in these losses and move on to something else?
I've been trying to exit out slowly here, but I can't even try to get out of these. Because originally when I first bought was I still have a bunch of AOI, the
I
180
think I'm
calls.
gonna do it. I think I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna say sayonara to AU and MU. Man, I think I still have some AOI calls though. No more calls. MU. Okay, it's just common shares left. All right, I'm ripping it off. Sadly, took some nasty losses there in MU and AOI. Bye bye. All right, so still in TE. Oops, I bought some at 855, but not a big crazy position. AVEX dip. AVEX dip. I'm going to buy this dip here because I want to carry some into the earnings report. All right, 2550. Still in keys. So I got keys and Webull and Redwire, not in Watt. Oops, TE didn't hold 850. VWAP, I'm not selling here. If it bounces off VWAP, they'll add more. I don't have a big
freaking below on the 5 minute.
I don't have a big position. I don't have a huge position. I have an okay size position, so I think I may add more if it gets to the VWAP. I'm gonna hold in the line there. Get AAY and MU out of my face. Seriously, pieces of shit today. Unbelievable. Sorry, I don't know if this video is gonna get flagged on YouTube or something for cursing. I'm just pissed off. Sorry, Ryan. You can let me know if I'm banned from YouTube now.
What else do we see? Ooh, what is that?
Securitize, CEPT. That catalyst yesterday.
Yeah, it
and
looks a pretty big catalyst.
Yeah, I know. And look at the rare earths. This is on a Serenity pump. Look at this. Look at this. My play was MP and I puked it out on the morning drop. But look at USAR up and to the right. And USAR had news yesterday too. And these RSIs are oversold. Not this trend line it's bouncing off of. There was news. So misplayed this one too. A little bit annoying of a day here today. Keys dropping, not fun.
SIGA. Let's look at that.
Yeah, I'm done. I'm freaking done with AOI and MU. Get out of my life today. Oh my gosh, guys.
SIGA popping up. You have, and then GOVX.
GOVX. Oh, you're talking about pandemic stocks? Let's see.
VILD.
Wow. These are the pandemic stocks are still going, huh? Let's look at the daily charts. Well, 3M only had a 1-day pop. Codex, wow, is still going. VRAX is garbage. GOVX, APT, Lakeland, EBS, SIGA. What else do we have on this? Gotta clean this up. I gotta delete some of these. Let me delete some of these. These look like crazy shit codes. I don't want these. COSM, get rid of that. Lakeland, APT, GOVX. VRAX is probably bullshit shit code too, but yeah, I'm gonna delete VRAX. I don't want to deal with that shit. Okay, these are more legit companies, but even though this is also a shitco. But anyway, yeah, I'm watching the pandemic plays, Ebola and hantavirus, but I didn't do anything with it. Oh, but there's this Sinestec which jumped on hantavirus the other day. Well, let me put this in the pandemic list.
We also have an interview today.
What's that?
Said we also have an interview today.
Yeah, we're talking to the new CEO today, this afternoon. You can follow us on Story Trading if you want to see that. We're talking to the new CEO. They just had earnings, so that should be interesting. Let's go back over here. Keys pulling back. All right, we got to find their pivot here.
Yeah, it's coming towards the end of the show, Ben. You have any final remarks, thoughts?
final remarks is, man, did we ever get the macro right? Ryan was saying, all right, this is a tough game because not only do you have to have the right thesis, but then you have to choose the right vehicle and then have the right execution, right?
Yep.
And having the right thesis to me should be the hardest part. And, I'm pretty damn good at it. It's just, I think that people get cute sometimes, like today, right? Like, because imagine, if you know the direction of money flow and you're nailing the tops and the bottoms, sometimes I think to myself, maybe I should be an index trader because I'm so good at the macro. And I get like cute with individual names because I'm looking for like high beta. But, sometimes just keeping it simple, like Soxel this morning, like why were we getting cute with AOI?
Yeah,
Soxel safer. Like, I guess, you know what? Like, I think we should do that more on our top picks when it's a high level macro money flow kind of thesis. I think we should probably, because we killed it on the IWM puts, right?
Yeah,
Like we weren't shorting individual names. We killed it at the high level, chose the right vehicle. So I think at Story Trading we'll make an effort to, focus more on ETFs when it's a high level thesis, a macro money flow type of thing. It takes away that individual stock risk. So yeah, keep it simple, stupid. That's my last word. And then we got NVIDIA earnings, obviously, after the close. Also looking at AVEX earnings after the close here, which I told you about, which I'm going to carry. The new drone stock, people don't know much about it yet, but from research I've done, it's good valuation and some good recent momentum, good analyst coverage. So keep an eye on AVEX, add it to your drone watch list. They report after hours. And then Webull tomorrow after hours. Those are the 3 earnings reports on my radar here for the rest of the week. Let me just double check to see if there's any other big things. No, that's it. There's other names reporting, but I don't really care about them too much. Intuit and Elf and Urban Outfitters and Walmart and Zoom and all that. But yeah, we got AVEX and NVIDIA tonight, Bull tomorrow, and then have a good weekend, everyone. I'm also going to be out of the office on Friday. The market's closed on Monday.
Market will be closed on Monday, yeah, because of the holidays.
So it's actually going to be a 4-day weekend for me. Everyone else gets a 3-day weekend. I'll have a 4-day weekend. So we'll see you back with our regular programming next Tuesday. And by the way, if you want to get Benzinga Pro, you're heading over to the bit wherever that is, find the checkout, and then you can get what?
Go ahead. No,
yeah.
Go ahead.
You can get 55% off the annual plan for Benzinga Pro using Story Trading 55, I believe the code is. Is that right, Rhett? I think it's Story Trading 55.
So, yeah.
If that doesn't work, try Story 55. It's one or the other. And then if you want to join our community, you can head on over to storytrading.com and trade with us like all day long and all night long, and it never stops. We're like working 18 hours a day here during the week, take our weekends off, and we'll see you in our community, and we'll see you here next week on Benzinga. Thanks, everyone.
Awesome. Take care, guys.